how fitting.
Oh, there you are.
is.
How fit, that's good, I like that, yeah. How fitting there the referee is, right? What else?
Thank you. Diane, what the challenge is,
I'm sorry?
if I play the ball, or she tries to play the ball, or what? So, challenges.
The nature of the challenge. Okay, good. Here's some of the ones that I came up with, and you got it too, right? Score, time of game, location on the field of the foul, right? If it's by the technical areas, doesn't our awareness go up? If it's down in your coffin corner, maybe you get to manage it a little bit more, right? Past behavior of the fouler, right? And the foulee, oh, those actually words. The intensity of the game, good, you guys got that. The experience level of the referee, nobody mentioned this. You kind of approached on it, right? Somebody that's a new grade 7 versus, somebody that's been refereeing as a FIFA referee or retired FIFA referee. Can they manage the situations differently? Yeah. Does one have more stature and credibility on the pitch with the players? Right? That newer referee is probably going to have to do things more by the book. They're not going to be able to talk the players through a heated moment. Right? The importance of the game, level of the game. Good. And you guys got the others. I'm impressed. And so we're going to be looking at clips that are going to touch on these things. Right? So the answer isn't 100% correct. 100% correct. There's not a 100% answer. It depends on the variables. Right? So we're going to try to hurt your brains a little bit and go after this. Does anybody need a break? No? All right, good.
23 minutes in.
Yeah, we're 23 minutes in. Don't be a 5 break yet. Okay. All right. We're going to start with challenges. Does everybody have your considerations or somewhere?
Yeah.
Because as we talk about these, again, we want to frame everything in consideration. Why do we harp upon this considerations as a way to frame our discussion? Yes?
So we're all thinking the same way.
We're all thinking the same way, right? So when you state a consideration, everybody knows what that means. Where does that really become important? In the game, right? When you're talking, referee or fourth official are talking, right? You're now talking the same language, describing the nature of the foul, right? And it's clear, right? You say, "Oh, she got it real good." What the heck does that mean? You have no idea, right? Or he's got to go. I'm done with him, right? Okay, I don't know what that means really. Let's talk. So we have these considerations. All right. So let's start with challenges. Right? So our job is to protect the safety of the referees, right? We know about careless, reckless, excessive force, the speed and intensity. We've been looking about the foot on the ground, right? Is it above or below the ankle? Is it into the foot or is it into the shin? Right? We're all familiar with that, yeah. Disciplinary contact. Is it clear action or gray zone? What's a disciplinary section? All right, so this is going to be challenging for you all. Everybody ready?
Yes.
Yep.
Can I hear my name? You're going to have to do it manually?
Mm-hmm.
Analog, all right. All right, here we go. Anybody want to see it again? It's okay if you do, no problem. If you want to see it again, raise your hand. Yep, okay. All right, anybody want to see it a third time? Everybody got your cards?
Yep.
Oh. Modern way, there we go. Some of you folks are on the ball. The modern way to be here. All right, we ready? On the count of three, let's see a card. 1 and 2 and 3. Yes, yellows. Ahmed's still talking to his fourth official, trying to decide. We got some red, got some nice red. And if you don't have your cards, pull it up on an app. All right, so we have a bit of a 50-50 split, yeah? Okay, so considerations. Who would like to defend your decision first? Come on. Oh, there we go.
I mean, there was no intention to play that ball.
So what color did you have first
I
of all?
have red.
You had a red card, so no intention to play the ball.
Yeah, and it was, well, I mean, it was forceful, obviously.
Those fours.
So excessive force. It was, I mean, I wouldn't consider it speed because she was close proximity.
Yeah.
But, no, but it was just not necessarily just the intent, but just being so malicious just to injure the player. That's all that was the only reason. Just, I'm gonna send a message and I'm gonna send it strong. And
Do we have another mic for this, so people can hear that online? Okay.
Oh, that one.
That one.
We're good.
We can have, like, city council meetings.
That's right.
Okay, so it was malicious, didn't have, not a lot of speed.
not a lot of speed, but it was forceful.
Forceful.
I mean, she was trying to send a message saying, you know, whatever they had done in the past, obviously they weren't happy about because it was a get even. Nothing happened at that particular moment, but you could tell that they were getting even for something else that had happened.
Okay, so now you're projecting pieces of some of the variables into this decision. You're projecting that, oh, I think something happened beforehand.
I would
Entirely possible. Entirely
a
possible.
lot of women play that way. I was speaking as a woman, and I can fairly say that, you know, that hey, obviously something happened in the past that they're not happy about. They're sending a message.
Yeah.
So
Maybe something happened in the past. I'm just repeating so that everybody can hear.
right. No.
So was the ball in play or not?
What's the what?
Was the ball in play or not?
No, it was
No, the
already
ball
out
was
of
out of
bounds.
play,
There
right?
was no opportunity to play the ball. It was strictly, I'm going to injure you. And that's my intent.
Okay.
So it's a red.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. Those are some really good points. Anybody else that had a red card want to add on to that? Yes.
I will. So I've got a new.
You are currently the only person in this conference.
Consideration 1, does the player show a lack of attention or consideration when making the challenge? Yes.
Uh-huh.
Does the player act without precaution when making the challenge? Yes. Does the player make fair or unfair contact with the opponent after touching the ball? Touch the ball, unfair contact. Does the player act with disregard for the danger of the opponent? Yes. Does the player act with disregard for the costume of the opponent? Yes. Does the player have a chance to play the ball in a fair manner? No. Does the challenge put an opponent in a dangerous situation? Yes. Does the player touch the ball before making contact with the opponent? No. It goes on pretty solid for the rest of the rest. But you can argue a little bit of it, but it's pretty solid one through 8.
Okay. So, yes,
My argument is the point of contact.
you have a red card also?
No.
Okay, so you want
Before we
to,
get there, we'll rebuttal later.
yeah, we're gonna, I just want to wrap up red cards. Any other considerations that haven't been mentioned for a red card? Yes.
Well, it wasn't mentioned, but I would say the point of contact where it occurred.
The point of contact hitting into the shin.
Deliberately in the leg, in a position that is not bendable, it's a dangerous position.
Yeah. Okay, good. Yellow cards, so you wanna start with the yellow cards?
It's fair.
Okay,
Point of contact is fairly low on the body of the person who's fouled.
okay.
Soft part of the top of the.
It is.
The shin guard's hard.
I just thought it was. That's where I thought.
Okay.
So soft part of the.
And let's bring that noise down, please, over here. So you have the point of contact is low. How about what's the mode of contact?
Mode of contact, it could be the bottom of the cleat. Or
So-
actual side of the cleat.
The side of the foot, right? Okay, as opposed to the studs.
Yeah.
Studs raises it, right? Okay. But other
So it
considerations,
started out something more at a higher level, and then when it actually the contact is made, is where it should be.
okay. Yes,
She kicked her in the shin guard. And you can take a baseball bat and kick me in the shin guard. I wouldn't feel it.
Yeah, you are.
okay.
Yeah, I think that.
So your consideration is because she's protected,
Yeah, if she would aim for the knee, or the thigh.
Anyone have a bat? Can you
I
try
would
this?
try that. I wanna
Can you try that? I'll swing.
Hold on. I'm gonna set a point of order here. Got way too many conversations going on. Okay, let's stick with Paul. Everybody can talk. All right? When you're called on, please, if you're gonna have a conversation, do it so we can hear what's going on. So that we can hear the person that he's talking to. I can't hear over here.
and we have people online that are,
Thank you
Not doing
very
this
much.
conversation.
Thank you very much.
all right. So that's interesting. I've never heard of this concept before. I understand what you're saying is that it's a padded area. Okay, I'll put it in play. All right, other yellow card considerations. Yeah,
So the point of contact is low. I don't think it should be the rest of that. It's not, I mean, it's not even, I don't know, it just don't look like a red card.
okay, I don't think that's a consideration. But I think what you guys are trying to say is the likelihood of doing serious injury is low.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
In this regard.
It's,
So, the lack of speed.
it's right in front of you first, yeah?
The lack of speed is.
Okay.
For me, plus, yes, location and shoot. This is just, I'm just being stupid and I'm like, everything's all right.
Okay, sure could be. Again, we're projecting a little bit of some of these variables into, that we listed into this clip. Okay,
So what is the intent, okay, from the player who is following? So first thing, the ball is out of play, okay? Second, if we go back a little bit, this is kind of a little from retaliation with the player.
could be.
If you see the player, the blue player was making like a challenge on the Brazilian player, just coming from behind, like maybe waving hands, grabbing, pushing. So it's kind of from retaliation, not from the previous player.
Okay.
When the ball wasn't there,
Okay, and so you have a yellow card.
I got you.
Okay, and you want to make a comment?
I would say consideration 17 of which part of the opponent's body is the contact made. It's right there, it's on the top of the foot, it's not at the knee, it's not at the top of the shin. So it's really low between the 4 and 6 inches of off the ground.
Okay, so again, low likelihood of doing serious injury.
Knee stand, no speed, you know.
Okay.
so-
Do you have something to add?
Okay, directly above the considerations you mentioned, does the player use his or her studs when making a tackle? No, they're not. It's at the top of the foot. And I also might add, specifically from considerations, she's not trying to take the opponent out of the game, per se, in my opinion, because of the location of the tackle. She's just simply showing her frustration.
Okay,
Proving.
and you have,
I had a yellow as well. There didn't seem to be an excessive use of necessary force. There didn't seem to be any brutality or any clear malice for the fouler. So those are the considerations that we
Okay.
need.
Are you guys already all talking for yellow card?
She didn't kick her opponent. That
Okay.
seems like excessive force.
Okay, so I think I hear the general theme is that the likelihood of injury is low. So let's bring in some of the variables, right? What if you've been hammering players all over the field, right? And, you know, she's just been out of her mind, yelling at you, yelling at the other players, you know, lots of fouls, right? And the game, you know, has had several yellow cards already, maybe even a red card, right? And, you know, it's been a battle royale, and you've got 10 minutes to go, and you're just trying to get this plane on the ground. Does that change things? Does that make all you yellow card people go, oh, well, maybe I'll probably toss her?
Well, that's when we're on the field, yeah, it's clear, because we have
In
select
fact,
box,
if you
you
do
know,
emotional, that's
situation here. I mean, it definitely raises mistakes, but the incident that we're penalizing is still this issue.
But this is a discussion clip, so we're bringing in all these variables now, all right? Because I'm trying to raise your football understanding, right? Because these don't have 100% answers. Both groups are correct, as long as you're giving a sanction. Both groups are correct. All right? So what if this game is down here, right? And everybody's been playing really, really nice, and this is, you know, we're at the 75th minute, and this is the biggest foul that has happened, you know, and she gets up and goes, ow, what are you doing? Right? Then all you red card people, now do you move to the yellow card camp?
Yeah, maybe.
Yes.
Yes. Maybe, right?
Well, can I ask a question then?
Yeah.
Because at least what I'm seeing, if we're to take into consideration, I get what you're getting at with this, but it seems like the vast majority of the considerations for a red card are being ticked off.
Yeah. Look where this is. So this is clearly yellow card. This is clearly red card. This is, you know, assault and brutality. This is in the orange. You remember the old days? We called it orange card, right?
I can agree.
But we have options because the likelihood of injury is low. Right, so the side of the foot into the shin may or may not hit the shin guard, depending if it's a high school player or college player who wears their shin guards up under their kneecaps, right? Yes, you got a comment?
Yeah, I think we have to go to the skill level of the referee. Knowing your own personality and your limits can make a big difference. If you're one that more, I need to control the game with cards, and that's fine if that's the way you referee. Then maybe you're leaning more to the red card. But if you're like, I know that I can talk this person and talk this game down, I can lean more towards.
That's a component, your own personality, right? Do you have the confidence to be able to manage the situation with a yellow card? Or are you a brand new referee and, you know, you're like, I'm not even sure who I am as a human being yet, and I'm just gonna, you know, have to throw the red card, right? This is all part of the art of refereeing, right? That's why we have all these blogs ripping on referees, right? Because there's so much gray, right? And we just scratched the top of the surface here. I got a bunch of clips. All right. Other questions or comments about this clip? Yes.
My only comment is, what is it going to bring? Like, with this type of foul, now the heat of the game may change, right? Based on this foul, possible injury, you know, now what are you going to have to deal with? And so you're gonna have to make decisions based on these hard fouls, whether you give the red or the yellow, and whether you back it up. So it's, you know, you might be having a difficult game the rest of the time if there's a lot of time left.
Yeah, you have, this is part of it. So,
Also,
yes. Okay, so if you have, you know, 30 minutes left in the game, First of all, you decide a yellow card, the Brazilian, what are you gonna say to the Brazilian?
But I'm giving you a yellow for non-player.
Don't throw your AR at
Oh, sorry, you're the AR. My AR wants a yellow.
Well, what you're gonna say to them is, you don't always have to say something. You can use gestures and say, what are you thinking? You know, you can just come up and, what are you thinking? This is, what kind of play are you making here? So you don't always have to be really rough with them. I mean, you can just be like,
Oh, yeah, I'm not even suggesting that.
right,
That is,
but it's just, you're gonna set the tone. And you're gonna say, hey, I'm watching, this is not gonna continue to happen.
yeah.
We're done with this.
So we talked about personalities out on the pitch, and we don't want to go to mad, I talk about mad dad, right? We don't want to go mad dad right away.
Right.
Because if we're at mad dad, we're close to a red card, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes we want to be a brother or sister. Hey,
Hey, you need to
really?
think
This
about
is the biggest foul of the game. Do you want to be the only person with a red card? Come on, let's work together. Let's play smart. Are you good? You understand? Now, here's what I did. I checked in with her. I made sure she's psychologically in the game, right? And I'm being empathetic to her situation. And I'm setting a limit. Yes, Scott.
Here's something that I want you to ask yourself. First of all, if we send somebody off from the pitch, does that change? Does that adversely affect, does that majorly affect the outcome of that game, most likely?
Yes.
Oh, that's.
It does. Do you want to be, this is the question you need to ask, do I want to put my stamp on this game where I just made a decision and affected the outcome of this game? Is that what we want as referees? Sometimes we have to, right? But the point I'm trying to make here is this. Just like an obvious goal scoring opportunity, we talked about the giant O, right? Have you heard that? If it's obvious, we want it to be big O, not a little o, we want it to be big giant O. If we're gonna give a red card, it better be, everybody expects a red card there. Everybody expects a red card there. Even though this is cheeky, and you might think it's on the border, or you might think it's a flat out red, you still have to ask yourself, am I going to affect the game? Are you going to, as the referee, put your stamp on this game? And that's what you have to ask yourself. I'd say it should be a giant R if you're gonna give a red card. In my personal opinion.
And if we were, well, I wouldn't show these clips to grade 8 referees. But if I was showing this clip, I would be telling them, this is a red card. Because they need to see things black and white. You all are doing and assessing the semi-professional games. We have to have a higher football understanding. Okay? So you guys are doing great. Let's move on here. Yes.
Can I say something?
Speak up.
I hear the conversation going on, right? But I understand what FIFA wants in this. But we have to ask ourselves, what's the league want? What is it that, for instance, Patrick, you're to the league, right? What do you want when you see this for the referees? What your expectations are? Perhaps we should approach it from that baby. Because, for instance, if I'm referee, I might say nothing. Referee, he said he's a yellow card there. You young man, what you did. He's refereeing there, he might say it's just a red card. So we can't be refereeing that way in our league. When I say our league, I mean, the amateur level, or the youth level. So I think we should approach, okay, what is it that really we want to accomplish as a group? Because we say here, okay, that should be a red card, perhaps we should be going, everybody should be going in towards that. This was just nothing but yellow card.
Well, one of the variables that we brought up was the level of play. So that's kind of factored in here. But we want people to discern when is that gray card, that orange card, a yellow or a red. I'm not sure where we're going with this presentation.
No, I understand that. But what I'm saying is this, right? For instance, okay, we have two premier to apply this weekend game, okay? I mean, they should bring that game. The expectation from that team should be the same way when Cambadas is going to go next week. Because if next week, the same player does something like that, now soon now comes up by red card, yellow card. So we are not consistent.
Okay.
That's what I'm getting at.
I think I understand what you're saying, yeah. Okay, let's move on to the next clip. Anybody want to see it again?
Yeah, but yes,
All right. 1, 2, 3.
I got it.
That's so great. How mad boys? Can you leave them in the locker room? Come on. Okay. This is a good mix. Okay. Yellow cards come first. Who would like to present the case for a controversy? Is that did you wave your hand like I'll talk? I guess so.
So the way I look at this one, the attacking player, her cleats are pointing down and not pointing up into the attacker into the opponent's face. It's not a locked knee. It's a like there's a lot of give there when the contact's made. The contact looks like a glancing blow, and the opponent is bending down. Her position is contributing to the contact that's being made. And even then, the attacker's foot isn't, it's not at a head level, because again, it's coming down and this opponent's bending over as well.
Okay, so you're saying that the blow is not in, but a glancing blow?
Yes, it's a glancing blow with force being down.
Okay, anybody else want to piggyback onto the yellow card argument? Yes.
I think the attacker was looking at the ball and not the defender.
Okay.
So clearly she's not intending to.
Okay, great, thank you for bringing this up. So first of all, we don't really factor in intent anymore, do we? Because it's out of the laws of the game. We talk about the manner in which a player plays. That's what the law says. Okay? So we have to look at how is this player deciding to play this ball, right? And she's deciding to play this way. She may not be aware that the defender's there, right? Is this a reasonable way to play the ball? Yeah. I'm not going to be a judge of that because I can't do that anymore. All right, but I get where you're going. Yes.
Are we required to show a card on this? Like, is there anyone else in the room questioning whether or not, oh, I'm not even sure if I can show a yellow?
Well, I did see a lot of people not put up a card, and I'm just going to assume it's because they don't have the app on their phone yet, which they're going to be downloading during this conversation. Is there anybody that does not have a card on this? Okay, that's good. Okay. All right, so other
So just in general, for the clips we're gonna see tonight, there are always gonna be some kind of card. Pretty much.
You never know.
I don't remember off the top of my head, actually. But I'm not, life is not that simple. All right, other yellow card considerations? None? Oh, yes.
There's one, does the player challenge to the ball at the moment of contact?
Is the player challenging for the ball at the moment the contact is played? Yes. Okay, good, that's important, because that first clip we saw wasn't, yes? Huh? Yeah, go ahead, fire.
I kind of see it's almost the flip of the first considerations. The first 11, if we're looking at your sheet, seem to have flipped and be more questionable, and then the considerations 12 through 19 are more solid on this one, as the first flip is kind of the opposite one. It's kind of funny because I looked around and I saw people go the opposite direction from cards.
Yeah.
And so, you on Carson's side was yellow. Does the player use brutality against opponent when making a challenge? Not really. What degree of speed or intensity does the player use when making a challenge? It's contributing. They do fly, but they're both going in that direction. Does the player lunge at an opponent from the front, from the side, or from behind? Does she even know that she's there? Which part of the body does the player use to make contact? But does the player use his or her submarine tackle? Kind of hard to call it a tackle, honestly, but does the player use his or on which part of the body's opponent's contact? That's high. In which direction do the players feet point at the ball? But then the player glides. It's funny because 1 through 9 now are, she's playing in a fair manner, but she does provide a dangerous situation. I bet you're on the other 8 on this.
Yeah, it's a challenging clip. Okay, so for you red cards, unless you have anybody else with the yellow card. Oh, all right, who would like to speak up first?
Well,
Fire.
I think she know what's gonna happen, she got on the play in front, and then she couldn't put her clip down, and then she didn't, and then she challenged the ball with the opponent, like careless, like she didn't, and any moment she stopped for a mental consequence. Okay, because so that's why I think it's where you're not.
Okay, I need to clarify your vocabulary then, because you threw in the term careless.
Sorry.
Hey. Hey.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I said it wrong.
Okay. Just a minute, let me go over here. Yes.
I think of, is this player taking a risk by playing ball? Coming up in the jumping motion at that rate of speed with the ball coming in with an aerial ball that there's no possession there. So yes, maybe the player's not looking at the player, at the opponent, looking at the ball, but taking a risk of playing the ball by kicking your foot up that high, regardless of the player's coming in or standing straight up, you're taking that risk of injuring a player with your foot or your cleats into the upper body, which could be a soft area for one.
Okay, so you bring up a good point. She's taking a risk. What's the outcome? Because just because we have a high boot, that player's taking a risk. If it makes contact, now we have kicking. Right? And we may or may not have a card, right? A player lifting a boot up like this and hitting me in the cheek, but not hard. Are we going to give a card? Maybe, maybe not. Right? There's a lot of variables there. Right? But it may be and maybe not. Right? In this, she's taking a risk. Do we know the outcome of this? Really? You know what kind of damage is there? Yeah, the nature of the injury. We don't really know yet. Right? So she's taking a risk, and now maybe do we need to assess what was the outcome of that contact?
Yes.
That would provide a lot of important information, right? If her face is opened up, that's easy, right? Right? But if you look at her face and she doesn't even have a red mark, right, from the contact, what does that tell you? Maybe she got hiding it or faking it, right? Right? That the force wasn't very hard, right? And maybe it didn't even hit her in the face. Can you say for sure it didn't hit her in the shoulder? It's really difficult, this angle, right? We don't know. Okay? I'm kind of pushing this conversation a little bit, right, towards this is a really great clip. Where you want to make a comment first?
So, get yourself a high level player. obviously an international game. High level,
Yeah, I
this
know.
is a very poor attempt to play the ball by this forward. She knew the defender was there. So by putting her foot in that position against her opponent, she violates about 6 of these considerations. So there's no reason to attempt to play this ball from her position. As she comes down, if the foot continues on, she's out of balance. She's got nowhere to go, even if she were to win this ball.
So every high boot that makes contact, you're gonna give a red card? Is that what I hear you saying?
To the face.
Really? How many times has that happened in high school games where players kick up high and they glance them off their face and you just call a foul?
We all want red though.
I know, everybody wants red, it's like bloody murder, right? But, and then, you know, the context of the game, that doesn't meet the criteria for a red card because of the force. You want to go to, and then I'll come to you.
So the thing I've been thinking about, if we take this defender out of the play, is this a reasonable way for her to play the ball with the angle that it's coming at and at the speed? So from my vantage point, I'd say it's probably reasonable.
Yeah, does everybody understand it? If this defender is not here, is this a reasonable way for her to challenge for that ball?
Yeah.
Absolutely. The way she's in stride, she's not in stride this way, right? She's in stride this way. So why not bring the ball down like that?
So would be follow is about the defender, you know? So as the defender, you can choose to go and clear out, but she's still creating maybe a little bit dangerous.
So the defender, in your opinion, is contributing to the situation in the manner in which she decides to play. Okay. Did you want to finish your comment?
Well, so if I go through that process to the earlier point, if this player knows that there's someone there, they're clearly taking a risk. I think it's a reasonable risk considering the way the ball is coming in and how she's playing. But depending on what kind of contact she makes, it's going to determine whether or not this is a yellow or red for me. But I mean, she's taking a risk, but it's a reasonable risk from my perspective.
That's a fair comment, that it's a reasonable risk. Yes.
What you said, that it was really interesting. It's something that I haven't really, I guess, figured out how to fine tune the mechanics of assessing the player to determine how the misconduct is going to go, whether you're going to, okay, I have added information here, you open their face or you know, broke their ankle or something like that. What would be some of the main points of the mechanics of that you would go through? Is it isolate the player first, then check on player? Or is it check on player, then go find player, or the?
Right. So you're gonna blow your whistle, call a foul, right? And you're gonna go, oh crap, what do I got?
Especially one of these where they're rolling, you get down, move your hands.
So,
it goes like this.
I don't know what a number is, but the Cameroon player made it, so she's say, hey, number 8, stay right there. Do you need a trainer? Are you bleeding? Right?
Yeah.
You know, are you assessing, right? Really, really quickly, right? The last thing we want to do is show a yellow, come over here, and you know, the nose is over like this, right? It's happening, right? And then you got to pull the red card out. So ask the questions. Do you need a trainer? Are you bleeding? Where did they get you? Right?
Okay.
Do you just need a moment? You know, if you need a moment, now I know, oh, okay, it's not so bad.
That's actually, that's really good, because right there, the player might look up at you and go, oh gosh, that hurt.
Yeah.
You know, they're standing up, or they're looking up and, you know, screw you, get that person, look what they did,
Yeah, the Irish footballer's gonna go like, oh, that's nothing, let's go. Keep going.
Yeah, but you don't have a lot of players around right there. In the situation he's talking about, you tell that player to go away, and you can have 35 other teammates coming down your throat because they want you need to make a decision a lot quicker than being able to check that out.
Again, you have to feel the game. If you have a mass confrontation, say, hey, everybody, back off. Maybe your assistant referee comes out, right, and then takes the criminal and say, hey, come over here with me. right? And now you got the criminal over here behind the assistant referee who's just a couple yards away while the referee's assessing and dealing with the hornet's nest, right? And then the referee can come over, the AR and the referee talk. I got a yellow, you got a yellow, yeah. I got a red, you got a red, yeah. Boom, right? But we have pregame, right? We have to be talking about it, have to be prepared, and through experience, we'll recognize immediately, boom, I gotta do this and this and this to put this fire out. Yes?
Well, a couple of things. One thing, the speed, I do think she has the chance to see the player, doesn't get the ball. This is reckless. Anyway, all the things that Norm said for the most part. But I also think where this happens, and I think it'll, on the body.
Okay,
And I think
the point of contact.
The point of contact, and we were debating in the last, it's the soft part of the whatever. This is the face, this is the head.
Is
She's
it?
not feeling it.
Is it? We don't know. We don't know. Does it glance off of her or does it hit her in the shoulder? It's really not clear. And if it glances, I will go back to how many times have we seen a foot just barely touch the head for dangerous play and we just call a foul? I just want you to think about it because, again, we got to take the whole context in. Is this easy to defend as a red card for a youth game? Absolutely. Everybody's going to be expecting it, but we're not talking at this level. We're talking about the professional games. Yes.
Does anyone remember that Sadio Mane challenge?
You guys speak up. Read it aloud.
Does anyone remember that Sadio Mane challenge a few months ago? Liverpool, and I can't remember who the keeper was. Yeah. Yeah, it was Ederson. That's right. Yeah. You got 3 games for that, and I'm curious what the difference is because I think they're kind of similar in nature.
What was the outcome of that challenge?
Keeper got glanced on the head and came out with like some marks on the board.
No, keeper came out.
Did he?
Keeper left.
Did he have a concussion?
No,
Maybe.
I thought it was like glancing below, so like got him.
Yeah,
sure. But like,
He had stuff on his face.
Okay, so that's a, right? So if we have that, if we assess that kind of situation, you know what you have to do, right? And like I said, if we have, nary a red mark here, you know that the contact was minimal. Right? Again, think about the times where you got a dangerous play like this and a player's going in with the header, and the boot, and the face glance off each other, right? And you just call a foul. That's possible. Because, there's a foul. Right? Yeah, because the action is up and the opponent is going into the foot as opposed to the foot going into the opponent, right? Does everybody understand that? The difference? Okay. I know, and I know I'm challenging you guys here mentally with these considerations, and that's the whole idea. These are not black and white. Yes.
Question just about how to use the considerations. So what is that? Consideration 17, on which part of the body is contact made? That's like the only consideration that argues for a send-up. Carson brought up probably 6 or 7 considerations that argue for a caution. So as part of the way we use considerations, do you want us thinking, well, I got 1 consideration for a red card, but I got like 7 for a yellow. Is there value in thinking about it weighted like that?
In general, there is, because there's a few that are just like, brutality. It's absolute, right? All you need is 1, right? But then when you're starting to look at the gray areas, right? Yeah, the point of contact, right, is to the head. Now we should be thinking high. But wait, what's the mode of contact? What's the level of force? Okay? Now it starts dropping. Okay? And that's why IFAB, as you saw, right? So this is a solid yellow card. This is a solid yellow card because of the nature of the contact. It's not in, it's glancing down. Easy to sell red card, right? At a youth game, nobody's going to say blue. Everybody's going to expect it. At a professional game, well, we have video. We're going to be parsing it, right? Because we want you all to be functioning at a much higher level as an official. which is why, we're doing this. We're trying to push you, we're trying to hurt your brain. We're trying to get you to see the gray in football. Okay? Good.
Scott?
Yes.
Are we saying then that it's fair to say that if there's a contact with a defender in this case, and it should be a red card?
What did I just say?
Are we going to look more into this?
No. We may consider it because it's gonna be the thing that gets our attention, but then we have to look at the other considerations. What is the nature of the contact? What's the mode of the contact? What's the level of force? What's the outcome of the contact? Which tells us about the level of force.
Now, don't take it wrong, okay, this is what I'm getting at. Now, let's suppose that now there's contact with our fire, now you have a fire, with the bleeding somewhere.
Be worse contact.
Now, here's my question, okay, how do we report that? Violent contact or serious contact?
How do you report that? Is the ball in play? Is that a challenge for the ball?
Yeah.
So how do you report that?
Because that's what I'm asking is this, right? Because sometimes, not always it's the same thing. So that's why the little bit does it, it do not be a violent contact. That's what I'm asking, not in a group or.
Yeah, I don't see how, if she had opened up her face, right, I don't know how you can, say that's violent conduct under the laws of the game. Challenge for the ball.
That's all.
Okay. Wow, we have a whole bunch of clips, we're gonna pick up the speed. All right, here we go, there's Portugal. Anybody want to see it again?
Consideration of the shoulder. Yeah. It was a soft part. Soft is soft.
Okay, anybody want to see it one more time? Nope. All right, 1, 2, 3, what do you got? Yellow, yellow, red, yellows. Wow, there's a lot of yellows. All right. I got a regular. All right. Excuse me. All right. Who would like to discuss the red card? Who would like to be the? All right.
All right, so I'm gonna go with, which part of the body made contact? It's the head.
Yep.
It looked like it was a closed fist to me.
Okay.
And it is.
Would you like to see that again to make sure that you know that it's a close fist or open fist?
Well, I only get one shot on the field. At my vantage point, I'm gonna go with what I thought I saw.
Okay.
Unless, we're gonna change the rules. All right, let's see, the ball was away, so he wasn't challenging the ball at that time, the ball was already done when he made contact. Let's see. And I'm gonna go with, also act with disregard, of the danger to this phone.
Okay, so disregard to the safety of the opponent. Okay. Other red card considerations, yes?
So I'm gonna add that 248 is using his.
Yeah, speak up so everybody can hear.
He uses his hand as a tool or a weapon. He's using his hand as a weapon.
Using his hand as a weapon. And what do you see that tells you that he's using it as a weapon?
He's coming around on his shoulder and he's swinging his hand around and into his face.
Okay.
He's not stopping and just putting his arm on his shoulder, and using it as a tool, maybe to pull him back. He's actually bringing his hand around him and then smacking him.
Hitting him in the face with his hand. Okay. Yes, sir.
At the beginning, when he puts his leg up, his arm is down low. And somehow he managed to windmill it all the way around up into his face. That's not a natural
Unnatural play motion.
Yeah.
I think he got slingshotted.
Slingshot shot it, all right. Okay,
But generally, oh, sorry, Paul.
red card consideration?
No, I, just to piggyback on Patrick, sometimes whenever contact's starting to be made up top, generally people's arms do come up.
Yeah.
As a,
Right.
you know, a stability standard, right?
Yeah.
Even if it is, you know, over the top, in front, on the side, things like that. Just one consideration that when contact is being made, arms do come up to grab and try to.
balance.
Yeah,
Stabilize.
just
And
one
slap, right? Yeah.
And slap.
And slap.
Okay, other red card considerations?
Twist.
All right, so
All the bottom.
everybody else had yellow cards. We had a lot of yellow cards. What are your considerations for yellow cards? Somebody's not spoken yet.
Okay, so
Can everybody hear her in the back?
probably not.
Are you a school teacher?
I
understand.
Speak up, girl.
Project.
Okay, does the player act with disregard for the danger to the opponent? Yes, and which part of the body does the player use to make contact? So I saw an open hand, and so open but it's close to me, the force is not there, so I guess we should go.
Okay, so how does an open hand have less force than a closed hand?
Softer. It's gonna absorb. the-
It's gonna absorb the energy. I'm sorry?
Knuckles are harder.
The knuckles are harder.
Yeah.
Okay, so the force is gonna be absorbed back into the fingers, the wrist, the arm. Okay, any other considerations? Okay, you covered. Edit yellow card considerations, yes.
Copying his hand back to, his hand is coming to, but it's not like he's using it as.
So he didn't, in your opinion, he didn't use it as a weapon, he didn't cock it and rock it. Okay, all right, good. Yes.
I think some of that's incidental because of the contact that the opponent creates by going into his rib cage, and he's flailing now because he come into his rib cage, stepped into him after he played the ball, so his arm's gonna kind of collapse.
Okay, so some of that is natural motion for balance and reaction to the contact. All right, other yellow card considerations, yes.
Going off that, so the professional player at this level really wants to do some damage, they know much better ways of doing damage. And so like an open hand from behind, kind of all awkward using force, I don't think that'd be their first go-to.
That's like get away from
But they wouldn't risk it, it would be like, oh, let's put it on the wrist and getting yellow and not doing any damage. That's how I.
Yeah, they're certainly putting the referee on the spot here to make a decision. Yes. You guys speak up, please.
The contact that I saw from my point of view, it looked like it caught him more right here on the neck and was going down and not necessarily right in the face. And the player grabbed right here.
Okay.
And I think he was moving out of his contact here.
So the contact's down
It
into,
looked like the hand would have hit him about right here.
okay. So instead of being up into the face, the contact was down. Okay.
Is he right in front of the
Is he right? In front of the next player? They're way down, they're down towards the back. Yeah. Okay. So again, there's no 100% right answer because, you know, what if number 3's been a pain? What if number 9's been a pain? Right? But this is a high yellow. Right? Because it's not a fist, it's an open hand. Right? And the way the movement is, he's taking advantage of this and sending a message. So, absolutely can give a yellow card. Absolutely, given other variables, you could give a red card. Yes.
Why does it make a difference if it's a fist or not?
Because of the energy, there's a fist, right, is a hard object, and the open hand is, all the energy gets absorbed back into the arm. And so then the likelihood of injury or damage to the opponent is much lower.
Yeah, face
So, you think about, I mean, to your point, you think about if this is a high school game, right? Oh my God, I don't want that in my game.
Yeah.
You're gone, right? And I may be thinking about writing up what's fighting and really, ruining your life, right? But yeah, this is a really nuanced clip because of this, because there's that contact beforehand, right? Now it starts to get pushed to the grayer area of red to yellow, right? Because it's more down as opposed to up. It becomes a little bit more yellow because it's an open hand, so a little bit more yellow, right? He doesn't use the palm of his hand, right? It's a really nuanced. That's why I say you can't support a red card, right? And if this game's a basher of a game, maybe just shoot the sucker, right? And get on with it, right? But I want to bring in the nuances. Yes.
I think it would be wise to say that this player is trying to deceive the referee, that that's his natural Monday.
Which player's deceiving the referee? Hunter is deceiving the referee by natural movement? Well, yeah, it could be.
Maybe he's attempting to set up a dimension, but in his momentum, he's trying to deceive it by acting like it's a.
Yeah, he's taking advantage of this. Oh, look here. Whack. Right? And that happens in our games. They find themselves in a situation and will take advantage of it and lay out a little bit of punishment if they get the chance. Yeah? So, is this just simply a yellow card, or is this going to be a yellow card and some words? Right? And are you going to talk to number 9 and say, hey, are you okay? I got this. Money management, you play your game. You're doing a great job. You're one of the best players out here on the field. Keep getting stuck in. I'm going to take care of this knucklehead. Right? So whatever words you use, I don't suggest calling the players' name. Okay. Other comments? Yes.
Although an interesting thing about this, I kind of like seeing it, I'm wondering if it's a little bit of a retaliatory thing for the elbow going to the ribs from number 9 to number 3. And has number 9 been, nagging at this defender all game? It's hard to know.
It sure could be. Maybe Knight's just beating him all over the pitch. He's frustrated. Right? And that would play into the words that you say to that player. Hey, keep your wits about you. You're playing fine. I know this number 9 is really playing hard. Right? So you're doing fine out there. Keep together. Your team needs you on the field. Yada, yada, yada. Whatever's in your tool belt, words I say to these guys. You want to sit one about it? We have 16 more clips to go.
That's minimal.
That's a whole nother presentation. That's like, okay, good. Hey, not easy. Not easy. You get one shot at. Whoops. You get one shot at it. All right, Algeria, Honduras. What's up with these Honduras? Everybody want to say it again?
Yes.
Okay. Anybody want to say it one last time? No? 1, 2, 3. And if you have just a foul, hold your hand up. Yeah. What, yeah.
Waiver was.
Okay,
Just the thought.
that's fine. We got some people that are not making any calls tonight. What do you got? What's your decision? Okay. Carlos, what's your decision? Caution. Okay. Hey, it's a mix. Nobody had a red card. That's good. That's good. Okay. So, who would like to present your side of our discussion first? Yeah, go ahead.
I had just a foul, and I used consideration 6, and it says the player have a chance to play the ball in a fair manner. They have the full opportunity to play as much as the other player does.
Does the player have a fair opportunity to play the manner?
The keyword there is fair.
Like going through.
Yeah.
All right, that's, so that, I mean.
No, there's no chance to fair.
Well, for the last shield ball.
Oh, he's getting the ball.
Okay. If you're shielding the ball, can you be challenged from behind?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So, I mean, that's a reasonable thing to say.
Thank you.
Okay. But who else has a simple foul? What are the considerations?
Does the player show a lack of attention or consideration when making a challenge? Yes.
The player shows a lack of consideration or attention?
Yep.
How do you see that? What tells you that?
Just he's going through players to get to the ball.
He's going through the back of the player to play the ball. Okay. Good. Yes.
So does the player, what part of the body does the player use to make contact? So the player in white is going for the ball, tries to make a move with the ball, and makes the contact from the green player. Green player is still going for the ball with momentum, but no chance to get out of the way. This is put through the player's leg with no contact. Doesn't have a chance to get out of the way.
Okay. So what's the mode of contact? Huh? Hold on, people. Yes?
The white player retrieves contact.
Well, the green player's coming through making a challenge, the white player's shielding the ball. What's the mode of contact by the green player? Upper body, thigh maybe? What's the point of contact on the white player? Thighs and back? Okay, so what's the likelihood of injury here? Pretty much nil, right? Good, so it's low. Good. All right, other considerations for simple foul? Yes?
Number 19, does the player challenge for the ball at the moment in which the contact is made?
Is this a challenge at the moment the contact is made? Yes. Okay. So considerations for yellow cards. Who's got a yellow card, huh?
Well, I'm just gonna add,
Oh,
something like this, time of the match and the heat of the match would play into this.
yes, yeah, and location on the field, in front of the technical areas. Okay. Yellow card. We have like a few yellow cards.
So I have, the speed and intensity of the play as well as, I don't think he got a fair challenge for the ball.
Okay, well, correct, it's a foul. It's not a fair challenge for the ball. All right. And so for you, the speed and intensity is a little bit high. Okay. All right. Yes,
Question, do we need to worry about breaking up a promising attack?
not on these clips. These are all challenges. Good question. Good point. So let's look here. It could be a yellow card, but it's a low yellow. Think about how many times in a game you see challenges like this where players are shielding the ball.
You are currently the only person in this conference.
And fouls them, bumps them, trips them, right? It happens frequently. So for this to be a yellow card, we really need some of these external variables of the game to come into play. The intensity of the match, right? Is this player being a pain? Is the attacker being fouled all over the field, right? All these other things, right? Yes.
I think in this particular clip, the more dangerous thing that Noah's talking about is what happens after the play. I mean, the way they get kind of tangled up, that could go south quick. They're not right in there, so I mean, I think a quick hard whistle and then setting the word is that.
Yeah, that's
It's a little damaging.
really good point, because right, we see how the players fall, right? 15's falling. Oh, I see a head here. Boom. Right? As a referee, you have to immediately recognize you're going to have a pile up on I-15 and get in there, right? Hey, fellas, you good? Be smart and easy up. Whatever you want to say, right? But you have to have presence to prevent this from escalating, because 15 could hit, right? The Honduran could kick. Right? There's a tangle of players. Right? We expect you to be preventative. Right? You guys are not entry-level referees. We expect you to be in there. We expect this just to be second nature. Oh, alarm bells going off in your head. Put on the jets, right? But you're going to be close anyway. You're good. Yes.
Do you mind showing that route menu with the fee for considerations on site? Because that seems to be, when I've been wrong on these books, it seems to be like the new emphasis is on those that I'm missing.
Any of those stick out to you?
I missed this one, I don't see anything on there that.
Well, I would point out maybe clear action or gray zone. Like that last one, is that clear?
What do you mean, Paul?
Well, the speed of the player going back, if, he's a step into the player as opposed to being several feet, yards back and running into the back of the player, right? Now that changes the dynamic of that challenge, right? Why not a yellow card? Or maybe even a red card, right? And then the speed and intensity, I think, is another thing that maybe we need to be refining. Okay. Anybody else?
Yeah, I know.
Yes, Carl.
Time in the comes the defender and is going to the puncher to the attacker. As he is turning away, because now the puncher, the attacker is racing it. And that's why he pushes that ball there.
So you're saying it goes into his flat leg?
To me, that's where the issue is with me. That's necessarily goes straight to the leg, but that's how it is in our balance. And that's why
That's how he pushes him off balance.
right, look at the attacker is going to put the ball right there, and the corner comes to the punch legs, comes off balance.
Okay.
And that's what makes me
But it's not pinning down the plant
Well,
leg,
right.
right? It's
So,
anything, it's lifting
hold on.
the plant leg up.
So what's your point?
That's what I'm saying, that's why I can be the
So
it's a tactical more than others in that I'm trying to go straight.
you're saying it's a tactical foul?
For me, it is.
Okay, well,
How can you say it was?
Yeah.
To me, is because he's that part, white player, and defense already beat at that point. That's why he can't pay. He's already beat.
Okay.
The attacker's going to turn as he turns. The defender always do is making sure that player.
So in your opinion, this is stopping a promising attack?
I think for this particular one, but something it's in the tactical, not in the division of stop and crossing attack. Or in the tactical play with the player using the tactical, it's a strategy the player uses.
Okay.
Because this is for the old timers that used to play, right? Either the ball goes through, the player gets, doesn't go
Okay,
through.
I got what you're trying to say. So he's either gonna get him or the ball.
Exactly, that's for me,
Yeah.
that's why it's the.
So that could
It's not
be.
the approach attack, it's a tactics the player use, make sure the player doesn't.
Okay, I understand what you're saying there. And if the temperature of the game was such, then possibly you get a yellow card. Okay. New Mexico. Remember say again? All right. 1, 2, 3. You got some foul. People are calling up a friend, yellows. All right. Scott, you know what had a simple foul? Anybody else had a simple? You guys were voting or something. You have a record? Okay. It just felt like he didn't mean to.
Okay, so I have several things. Mode of contact, where's the contact made? It's not, to me, it doesn't look reckless. It looks like
Okay.
the player,
So what is the mode and the point?
the mode of contact is like this.
Okay.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
You try to touch
Leg to leg. Okay. So the likelihood of injury is way low, right? Okay. What else?
Speed, so I mean, the blue player is basically stopping, the attacker is causing some of the combat. So it is coming in a reckless way, it's speed, force stop.
Okay. So the way that the white player makes the cut, they kind of create some of that opportunity to contact that. Okay. Did you have a simple foul?
No.
You want to talk yellow card?
I just want to talk about speed.
Okay.
On that point, what degree of speed or intensity does the player use in making the challenge? To me, that's actually the highest consideration for a yellow card for me there, is that the secondary clip with the replay is a very short, narrow window. The first clip shows the player coming from 10, 15 yards away, full speed, and then challenging into that. And I think all of us, when you see that player making a full sprint from 20 yards away, start thinking, what forward contact are we going to have, and how much force is going to be in that contact. And for me, that's a consideration.
Yeah. Carlos, does this kind of play into what you said before? It's either him or the ball? Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Does the player have an opportunity to make a play on the ball here? I think it's fairly clear that he doesn't, he's late, and he doesn't pull out of his challenge, he goes straight to the man.
Okay. Did he have, so that's an interesting point, did he have an opportunity to play the ball?
Technically, yes. He's very late.
Right there. He did until that touch, right? Yeah. But he did have an opportunity, right? And now we're like really splitting the hairs on, when was that opportunity? So the white player is highly skilled and cut and took away that opportunity. Back here first, Mindy.
I really like number 5, this player has disregard for the consequences of the ability.
Does a player have a disregard for the consequences of his action? Okay.
Yes, there might be an opportunity for this player to make a challenge. However, this player is moving away knowing that there's nowhere for number 8 to go. He's not considering where that player has to go, where he's going to put his legs. And therefore, I see that as, in disregard will be by definition involved a reckless or cautious defense.
Okay, fair point. Yes.
I had a simple foul. I'm just a little bit confused by the people using the consideration of speed or intensity, because I see it like you do, where the player committing the foul is actually, like, he's just got his leg in there. I don't see the speed or intensity. Could I just have someone clarify what your thinking is with that consideration?
Sure, I can give it from my perspective. So he runs from a ways, coming in at speed, and essentially just stops in front of that player. Okay. He is not playing the ball. Now, if he was to run through following the ball, I'm in. I'm good. I think it's a fair play. We can talk with these simple foul. But he runs in and then basically stops in front of them with the intent of this player going down and not playing through with the ball.
So you're saying less speed and intensity makes it a caution as opposed to more?
No, this was more speed. He came in with speed, and the player the white player that's going after the ball is playing at speed, and he knows if he stops in front of him, that guy's got no place to go but to go down.
So it's not
what he's playing.
So it's not the speed of the challenge.
He's coming down.
Yes, he's putting a roadblock in front of that attack, white player.
I think to carry on from that, we should take into consideration speed and intensity of the attacker with the ball. Number 8 player is coming in so fast. He's got less of an opportunity to control his body and stop or make a different reaction.
So I'm hearing different things from different.
You're
blaming white?
No, I'm not. I'm just saying, in our considerations, it doesn't say only for the person committing the foul, it just says the speed and intensity of the challenge that is being made. So if this person is coming in super fast and plays the ball and has a fair chance to play the ball, but the other player's coming in, doesn't make it a clear opportunity to play the ball, he's late, right? He's taking out the disregard of that opponent because the speed is more intense for the white player than the blue player.
I just have a question. It's
Yeah.
not a tactical foul to stop the player or the obvious opportunity. To me, it's not. He's like, he doesn't care about the ball, he just wants to stop the guy. Because, I mean, I didn't see where it was on the field. I think it was like passing in the field. It's more like a tactical. To me, it's like, hey, I'm gonna stop this guy because give me.
I think what you're leaning towards is a reckless challenge. Because when we say tactical, we're talking about stopping a promising attack very specifically.
Yeah.
But if you can categorize this as a reckless challenge because of the speed, right? The blue player stops and creates a roadblock, right? And so now the momentum of the white player goes into this immobile object. And I think that's where people are talking and getting this feel for speed and intensity. After him, yes.
Just two considerations. So, does the player make contact from the front side or from behind? I think it's from the side. And then
why is that important?
Just because the gravity of the foul, I guess, or the levity of the foul.
And he knows it's coming. He knows the challenge is coming. He can protect himself. Yeah, right.
And the other one that I use to gauge between send off and between a caution is the brutality that the player is using. I think he's trying to make contact. I think he does make contact. I don't think he's trying to make brutal contact with the opponent.
So you have
I just have yellow.
Okay. Yes.
Okay, you'll recognize I've been working on too many entry level. We talked about things as a space bubble. And blue players coming in to invade the space bubble. And this is you've got, and in essence, you've got the trip, and this is the sort of picture of the trip, you can call it obstruction of contact. But his intent was to invade the space bubble to keep him from doing anything on the ball. He did not allow the player the room to play the ball. And this is a game about allowing flow and allowing to play. So he stopped that player, and so, I mean, it's those momentum dynamics that for me make it clear yellow.
Okay, so let me tweak your terminology a bit. Instead of intent, his action.
Yes.
Right? His action created the contact, created the foul, right? And used the energy of the attacker to make it a forceful challenge. Yes.
So the possible thing is commits in a reckless manner a direct free kick offense. I think we're all in agreement to direct free finish.
Yeah.
Answer. And
I
then
hope so.
is it a reckless manner is the question, Rose. And for me, that consideration of 12, does the player, what degree of speed and or intensity does the player use to make the challenge? Although the challenge, he is created this trip that London was just talking about, his speed to get there and produce it is what gives it a yellow.
Yeah. Yes.
These considerations are great, okay, but also we have to understand there's another variable to it. Like team tactics. If the coach deliberately told that player, hey, we need to close that gap, he knows what he's going to do. So we also have to understand that.
To that point, why is this not a solid yellow card? Well, what if, this is the first minute of the game, right? What if this is late in the game and the game has been down here and everybody's been playing nice, right? What if there are all these other external variables that makes it a very low intense game, right? Maybe then you can manage it. But, it's at that level of a yellow card. Yeah. Most of our games we expect to see a yellow card. Okay?
Plus,
Alright.
it's the proximity too. It's not like the ball was clear away. He barely made an extra tap. And so,
I think that's the real thing.
Yeah,
From solid yellow.
okay.
it's not
All right, last challenge.
There's no spots in
Anybody want to say it again?
Yeah.
Not again? Okay. Anybody want to see it a third time? All right, 1, 2, 3. Got one red, yellow, 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 yellow. We got undecided here. You got a simple foul? All right. Scotty's dialing up a friend. You got some foul? No. Scotty doesn't have any fouls. No foul. Okay. All right. Good. Simple foul. Why is this a simple foul for you?
Who asked first?
I'll put it out there, but this,
Yeah.
obviously, depending on what point in the game we're at, right? But we're just supposing that it's early on still. I think this is a good time to set a tone.
So if this is early on, you're saying this is an opportunity for you to set a tone?
To make sure everybody's aware that I'm not okay with it. That this will be the only time it's happening. Just making it a lot of big gestures, big presence in the moment. Getting there quickly, saying it done. But that's, once again, near the beginning. Now, for near the end, and something like this, depending on the game.
If it's
I'm saying it backwards.
later in the game, maybe.
Later in the game, saying, hey, let's get through this, but, sorry, early on, I mean.
So what are your considerations of this foul, or this challenge?
So pull it back up. I know, I meant backwards. End of the game, I'd see if we can just make this happen. Beginning of the game, I may set the tone for the other. He threw his body pretty much at the opponent on consideration of 10 and 11.
So he's jumping into the opponent?
Yeah.
Okay.
His speed was also there as well.
The speed, intensity, okay.
Well.
Right. Okay. Those are valid, yeah. You.
I had one.
One?
You said that was the lack of attention or consideration.
Lack of attention or consideration. And what was your, you just had a foul, right? Okay. Okay.
And then I had,
Oh.
does he have a chance of playing the ball in a fair manner?
Does he have a chance to play the ball in a fair manner? Yeah, you all agree with that? He has a chance to play the ball?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, any other considerations?
Just, wanted to a fair manner or careless manner.
Okay. Carol, okay, so for you, this is careless. Okay. Yes, sir.
Parts of the bodies that are made, where contact is made and what's being used is a hard surface to soft surface. I have butt to chest right here, and
butt to chest.
Butt to chest. Yeah. So
I might have said hip,
yeah.
but okay.
Yeah. So is it used as a tool or a weapon in this manner? I think it's definitely using it as a tool.
Okay, a tool. Using a tool. Anybody else have a consideration for a simple foul? Yeah.
For me, he's not ever looking at the player, he's looking at the ball the whole time.
Okay, he's looking at the ball.
Yeah, so.
He looks at the ball the whole time. He knows he's there. He knows he's there though. Otherwise.
Hey, hold on. Okay. He's looking at the ball. Okay, so he has an opportunity for a challenge. He's trying to challenge for the ball until the end. Okay. Yes. You started the ball rolling, yellow card?
Okay, I'm discarding the considerations for a second here. One 1,000, two 1,000 balls in the air. In this situation, player standing under it, and someone runs the distance that he did at the space that he did. Almost everyone on that field's not thinking, oh, he's playing the ball. The situation for malice or intent, or is he really playing the ball when he runs like that, knocks over a player like that? How that's going to be interpreted by the players, the team, and how you manage that, I can see, Morgan, how that would go that way. But I don't think anyone's going to argue if you pull the yellow card out on that.
No, we don't.
Because of what
Speed and the distance that he covered to get to that ball, and what ended up happening to the player who was just standing there.
really important. Yeah, because of the speed force. All right, yes, Carson.
How's the mechanic
Okay, yes.
I think he's acting without precaution, because if you remove that defender, he would not challenge the ball like that. He wouldn't turn his back to where the ball is going. He wouldn't extend his hip. And so he obviously knew that there was a player there. Otherwise, he would have kept going towards the goal. He would have used his head in a manner that he would have maintained control. So he's obviously not thinking about the other player.
He's not thinking about the other player's welfare.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because he would have acted differently. Because he did have a fair challenge up until that point where he decided not to get this.
Yes. Okay, good. He had a fair opportunity until it became too late. Yes. I think he's using that as a description of in the manner of which the player plays. If the player's not there, just like with the woman with the high boot, right? That would have been a reasonable way to play if the defender wasn't there. She happened to be there, right? So maybe it's a way to frame it and to start that process of deciding, okay, where on these considerations is this going to start to fall? Right? So we have force, we have speed, we have intensity. Right? So we have IFAB, saying you have options. Because, right, you all are not wrong, right? Because, if the game is intense, but if it's the beginning of the game, right, you have options. It's the hip into the chest, not damage. If the player hits his head on the ground and ends up concussed, is that more information, right? And we should be very aware of this type of challenge causing a concussion, right? And if it has a concussion, then we have it's yellow card.
Can I throw a scenario? What if you've witnessed all those scenarios? I don't want to play what if, but what if you've watched as referee, these two players go at each other, a lot of name calling, your mother is or whatever, and then that happens. Is
That's part of the thing we're talking about. Exactly right. Now it makes it, oh yeah, this is a solid yellow card. No problem. Right? And maybe you're right. Right. Yes.
How do you sell this? Is that going to be, no card and you can get the player a new one, or it's got to bring in a caution and let it be at that based on the temperature of the match?
Yeah, I think you have words with the player. And again, you check and make sure that the player who got fouled is, okay, right? But you got to have words because you don't want this to continue. And maybe say, hey, that's your one, buddy. We can't have this the entire game. This is a long day out here, right? And we got to work together. You got it out of your system? We're ready to go? Good. Yes.
So I'm just curious of the approach that everybody takes when you're in these middle areas. And clearly you can do the considerations to the players in some manner. You can say, this is why I called it this or that. But you've got coaches and parents and I mean, obviously you can't stop the game and yell at the sideline, here's the considerations, 1 through 7.
Okay, for a coach, though, it's really good conversation to have with them because it kind of puts them off their game a little bit. Now they're having to think. It's just like the other phrase, it's not in the referee's foul selection today. What does that mean? They're not used to this terminology, and now they got to start thinking, right? So it's not bad to use the considerations, and you are defensible there, right? When you use the considerations, everybody knows what you're talking about, you can defend it. So, go.
So I'm just curious of how everybody or what anybody, how they would manage the rest of the sideline, especially in youth and you've got parents who aren't as educated and
So I go back to the level of the game. If this is a youth game, this is a high school game, give them a card. Everybody's expecting it. You don't really want that in your game. At a professional level, right, it's different. Well, the Salt Lake fans are going to be yelling at the referee anyway.
From the fans, we're the fans too.
Yeah, I know you are. You've hurt my feelings before. But, you know, so at the youth, at the lower level games, no problem. We don't want this in the game. I guarantee, you know, even a college game, that happens. I was like, oh, please, give a card. We don't want this in the game. These are student athletes. They got to go to class. If a kid gets concussed, right, misses class, that's a problem, right? Give a card. But we're talking, I want really to be looking at this in both. Think about it. If this is youth, how would you manage it? If this is, NWSL, USL, right? How would you be dealing with this, right? Because it's really two different animals in many, many ways, right? The bar is lower. The level of the game is very important, right? We don't want kids getting hurt and getting concussed. Professional athletes, though, it's a different matter in which their level of expectation of contact and intensity and speed. That answers your question.
Yeah, so
you bring up a really good point.
So let me just then interpret back to you. So what you're saying then is, if this is a youth match, even a high level youth match, B14, 15, 16, B1, whatever, where this is a 4, it's kind of, maybe under those conditions, it's just a 6. I mean, it's just a solid yellow to set the tone, to tell parents, to tell players.
Yeah, I would probably refine it even more. Like, I'm thinking, if it's a DA game, an under 17 DA game, then I'm thinking more towards the professional approach to the foul selection and the sanctioning. But if it is a local youth game, maybe, I think it's an easy yellow card, but it was, as we get higher, like we have some DA games tomorrow, if we see this kind of challenge, what are we gonna do? I don't know the answer to that because, you gotta decide in the moment and all these other variables, but these are higher level athletes and maybe it is a 4, or maybe it's a 6, depending on the game. Yes.
I think the players can tell you a little bit of that too.
What's their expectation?
Yeah, I mean, if that was a hard hit, they pop up and like, well, that kind of sucks, but let's keep playing. Rather than that's the level of play they want to play at. I mean, you don't want the game to get out of control, but if that's how the players want to play, referee, that's how the players play.
Well, what are they willing to accept? Yeah, that's a fair point. Yeah. Yes.
Do you want to see this again in their game? If they don't deal with it, I mean, if you want to see the game again, don't card it. If you don't want to see it, send a message that you don't want to see this in the game.
Particularly at the youth level.
Yes.
So I want to go back to that point. So here's the challenge that I have. You will have 9 players on the team that are fine. They'll play through that and go, whatever, let's keep going. You'll have 2 knuckleheads that are gonna come unglued when something like that happens.
Yeah.
And so the question becomes, how do you deal with that from a kind of managing the flow, managing the game, making the call that the game wants versus, the 2 or 3 knuckleheads that will be overreacting to every contact that they have?
Okay, good question. So how do you manage that one whiny player who every little contact is assault and battery in their mind? Yes.
I usually talk to the captains before the game, all of us, as captains, it's your responsibility, who gets a little hot-headed, who gets a little feisty, it's your job to keep them under control, keep them cool.
Okay.
Usually that does a pretty good job, because they start mouthing off, the crap order will shut up.
Okay. Yeah.
I will send a strong message, very strong one, and they will think about it later on.
You, the person that's whiny, you're gonna send this wrong message to?
Of course.
Okay.
In general.
In general.
Everybody will listen to me, even the coaches and the other,
Okay. Yes, Carlos.
Okay, going back to Michael's, outline, right?
Yeah.
Now you have two different events, right? Everybody's okay with that play, except there's two players now. So you're going to be matching the player itself. And how you deal with it, if it's more than a misconduct, you have to deal with it. Not because of the original offense, but because of the misconduct that is taking place now with that player coming to you.
Okay. Yeah, I think he's trying to talk about how to just modify that player's behavior so that their level of expectation matches the other 20 players or 21 players on the pitch. And yeah, if they go over the top, they tie your hands, slapping the ball or something like that.
You
it's
are
easy.
currently the only person in
So,
this conference.
suggestion, hey, whoever your buddy is out on the field that helps you manage the players on that team, the captain or the midfielder, whoever you've developed a relation, hey, talk to your mate. She's really not getting this foul selection and sounds very frustrated. Can you help me get her head back in the game? Get somebody else to talk to. It would be my suggestion, because they're most likely gonna hear something really blunt from a teammate and be accepting. Hey, this is big boy football, right? You can't really say that to a player, but you can, right? But that's what you want to say, right? But if that teammate says it, hey, get stuck in, they're gonna go, okay, dust themselves off. I gotta, get tougher, right? There are things and ways that you can talk to them, though. Such as this isn't in the foul selection, or this is, come on, we gotta play harder. This isn't under 8. There are ways you can manage that. But yeah, you gotta talk to that player and raise their level of expectation of what is fair, foul, and what is a misconduct. That's a really good point. So again, for the sake of time, because we got 30 minutes to get through the rest of these clips, I want to push your thinking even higher now. Forget the youth games. Think NWSL, think USL. All right? Let's really raise this our level of thinking and our approach here. And let's try to pick up the pace. Okay, so we're going though on to the penalty area. I wish we just had all weekend. All right. Yeah, just 2 clips. So, penalty area. This is going to be a theme later tonight. Proximity and angle of view. All right. It's got to be 100%. Exaggerated, right? Okay, so let's look here real quick. Okay, anybody want to see it again? No, if you have no foul, keep your hand down. If you have a simple foul, hand up. If you have a section, go put your card. Ready, go? Yeah, half and half and half and half and half. All right, good. I know foul. You haven't said anything. Why do you not have a foul? Why no foul?
No foul because she's riding on the ball. So she will take the ball. So,
You gotta speak up. I've been to too many rock concerts.
so she has the ball and they don't have the ball.
Uh-huh.
Right? And the blue is trying to take the ball. It's on the only 50-50 with the hair.
Okay, so in your opinion, this is a fair challenge because it's a 50-50 ball? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah.
Flex. I know.
Okay. So that's a 50-50 ball, okay. Are there considerations or observations for why this is not a foul?
So,
Sound the noise, please.
for me, when she had a touch, she had a bad touch.
A bad touch?
So, not a bad touch, but the touch was way too far for her to have an opportunity to play that ball, and the defender beat her to that spot. So as a result, it was a collision, and she fell down, but it's fair play.
Okay, so you said, in your opinion, she makes a heavy touch?
The touch is too heavy for that player, and that impact would be a penalty.
That's not.
All right, so there's a touch. How is that a heavy touch?
Right there, the defender's already right there.
Right?
It wasn't so much that it was a heavy touch, she was slow to accelerate.
Okay. I don't know that has heavy touches. I think maybe you might want to talk about just the nature of the challenge. Because the ball's at her feet. Right, she's not gonna have opportunity. The defender beat her to the spot.
By running through her back.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right, so let's do other considerations.
I use, where to go? It's the charge. It's the charge in a fair manner. Both feet are planted by both players, not both feet are planted, but.
Right, yeah. Feet are on the ground.
There's a fair challenge there as far as the charge. I think the mishap is that the player is misstepping and their body's going forward, so I haven't found.
Good. Oh, wait, you said you don't know?
I said no foul. You have no foul. Okay.
Is it, in your opinion, this is a fair challenge? This is a fair tackle? A tackle is shoulder to shoulder?
Yes, fair charge.
Okay, yes.
I think an important consideration is what the yellow player does when she's on the ground. I mean, she hops right back up to play the ball, so in her mind, she's not fouled. She wants that opportunity to take advantage of the position on the ball.
So that gives you information on what the level of play they're willing to accept. No more contact. Yes.
Simple foul, no guard, penalty.
Why?
What? Because she had she's not going for the ball, she just goes off the player. For no, she had no intention to play. The defender had no intention of.
How do you know that? Can you read her mind?
No, number one, she's not going for the ball. She just goes off the player is throwing the ball. I don't see the ball is far away.
The ball's there.
So the defender is not even trying to touch the ball or anything. It's just going on the ground. Simple, I don't want to say it, but a simple normal song. Bound their heads.
But could the yellow player be holding her off here with her arm out?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I don't see it. After, yeah.
So then for you,
if it goes smaller, you're gonna see all these little things that you don't see in that.
That's why you gotta give that equal opportunity. So, okay, so for you, this is 100% penalty.
Yeah, because it's in the line, no yellow card.
What line?
On the penalty line.
The line of the penalty area?
Yeah, it's in there.
It's inside the penalty area? Okay. So, 119th minute, World Championship match, tie game, This is 100% penalty.
They needed to understand the second.
You know how much of a laws have changed since 1990?
But they did it. I never did it, so.
Okay. Other considerations here. Either way. Paul, yes.
I was just wondering, we talked about pricing.
Wait, this topic. Okay.
This is not assessing the challenge, well, it is assessing the challenge. Seeing what angle would you want us to take to be able to see full contact on this one?
So.
See where the ref is?
That's not my position, is it? Okay, so right after here.
All right, well, to begin with. This is a later discussion. I would like to see the referee over here. And now she sees no pressure. Well, this is the last presentation. We're gonna change all this, okay? Because, you know, her shoulders, she's just facing the wrong way. You know, there's just so much wrong with this. So think about this clip, and after the last presentation tonight, see if you have the answer. You should. Okay? You want to play through?
On this contact,
She's not seeing. She's not shoulder to shoulder to me. She comes in from behind and catches.
She goes into her back.
That's right.
That's what appears from that.
And what's the answer?
Okay. That's the answer. Right? What's a foul? Right? No,
No card.
because look how she goes in. Does she go in shoulder to shoulder?
No.
She's going into her back. Okay. Now, if this is the 119th minute of a national championship, right, in the context of the game, right, maybe you decide this is not enough, right? Because she realizes the contact's coming, she's trying to be strong, right? She's got her arm out to try to, you know, defend her space, right? And she comes into it and knocks her down in the back. If this happens in midfield, are you gonna call that?
No.
Almost, what? Yeah, practically every single time, you're gonna call that, right? But because it's in the penalty area, you know, now you might be thinking about some of the nuances. Is this a foul? Yes. Is it worthy of a penalty kick? Yeah. But what's the context of the game? You know, if it's RXL Kansas City in an MLS Cup final, and that happens against RXL,
At Rio Tinto.
all right, let's look at one more clip and then we'll take a short break. Anybody want to say it again?
Yeah.
One more time.
You know, that is what there is.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. What's your decision? We got 1 foul. We got 2 fouls. We got 3 fouls. What? We got 4, 5 fouls. Charles, what do you got? You got a foul or no foul?
No foul.
No foul. And everybody else has foul or no foul? And we got somebody reading the New York Times. Was that the Wall Street Journal? Okay. For those of you who say no foul, why is this no foul? Who would like to speak to the point? What? The sooner you get it, the sooner we get a little break here.
Fine, I'll say something then.
Oh, I love the enthusiasm. All right.
She has position. She has.
Which player has position?
So the defender, the white player.
The white
She
player.
has position. She is the defender. She's closest to the ball. And she's definitely within playing distance. And if you look at it, they're shoulder to shoulder, so it's fair play. And just because the red player gets a little bit more bumped, hey, defenders are gonna do that all day long and let their goalkeeper collect the ball.
Yep.
It's just the nature of the play.
So for you, this is normal football contact?
Exactly normal.
Okay, Carson.
Fair play.
I'm gonna add to that, I agree this is just normal football contact, but it's hard to see the full size of the red player, but this looks like a bigger player. So a small player getting really back to a bigger player.
Yeah.
And then physics wasn't on her side.
Physics wasn't on her side.
That's true.
Large mass versus small mass. Okay. Yes.
I'm gonna admit that I may be wrong calling foul, but I do think it's interesting because I don't see her attempting to play the ball.
She played.
Oh, that's true. Okay, I'll take mine. If she played that well, then I'm down with mine.
So what?
If White played that.
Red plays it and then white plays it. Yes.
She touches it.
Yep.
White plays it last.
If White plays it last, I'm down with my foul. Okay.
All right, we'll stay with the youth game with you. No foul. Now, even if White hadn't touched this ball last, right? This is shoulder to shoulder contact, right? Next to each other. This is a physical game. Right? Yeah. This is normal football contact. Yes.
The white player doesn't change her direction either. She's on that same plane the whole time.
Yeah, which tells you that she's not trying to run through her. Yeah. She's just making a tackle on the ball. Yeah, good. Okay. Literally, look at your watches. I'm gonna say take 5 to take 4. All right, because we got a lot of books to go through, and I want to start the last presentation no later than 9. What's the answer? Survey says. Unless it's an under 8
Yeah, that's okay. You're not.
I always do it. Let's go, guys. Let's go.
So I would go to.
All right, let's read that one, please. Time is of the essence.
You're good. You're good.
I'm totally recording this. You are so on.
Now it's rolling the rest of the We have 13 more clips to go.
That was only 8.
That's great. Wow, we're missing half the people. People are still coming. All right. Okay, so talk about tactical fouls. Tactical fouls. Right? Control the ball, it's clear, obvious that they're going to be the ones that control the ball. We have to take into consideration the attackers, the defenders, the location and number, distance to goal, direction of play. Sounds a lot like dog so, right? Except with dog so, it's got to be a capital O, it's got to be said, right? So we've got just two clips here. Let's look at these.
It's just Toby getting a hug.
Anybody want to see it again? No? All right, simple foul hit, right? Yellow card, red card. 1, 2, 3. Because it is a foul, okay? Okay, whistle. All right, got a mix. Okay. Let's talk about why is this a simple foul for somebody? Who has, go ahead, please.
First option is the first minute of the game.
Okay.
Second of all, the direction of the play is going towards, it's close to the touchline and going towards the goal line. There's not really any other options for her to other than cross the ball and hope that one of her teammates is going to get in position. It's not promising enough to be an attack. Yes, maybe, but for this, it's just a simple hitting with contact.
Okay, so how many options does the yellow player have?
Three.
Maybe 1, maybe 2, maybe 3. Maybe.
We're assuming that those other defenders are not there.
Assuming the other defenders are what?
Are not present with those other options.
So there's at least 1, maybe 2, and pushing 3.
Yeah.
Okay, we can live with that? Okay. And you said it's the first minute of the game? Okay, really good point. All right. Other considerations for why this is a simple foul? That's it for everybody? Wow, okay. Oh, wait, no.
The reason why I would consider this a tactical foul is because even if she gets past that defender right there, she has another defender that's not the tactical more important possibly. And for me, it's not quite yet a promising attack. If that moves away from that play, I would say of course she has a promising attack.
Okay, so you think this defender's covering enough that it's not a, clear promising attack?
Right.
Okay, fair point.
That one's not there.
All right, people who have a caution. Yes. Caution.
So I agree with what Casey was saying, how there are options, but they're not good options in the defenders, but I mean, it's just the blatant nature of the whole that makes it a caution. It's a wrapper there, there's no need for the defender to make that change, to alter like that, because again, there are options, but there aren't good ones.
Okay, so for you, it's the nature of the foul, in which case.
It's just.
So how would you write this up?
Unspoken behavior for a.
Well, right. And that's entirely possible, right?
I think Carson's just card happy.
Well, yeah. All right, valid, fair point. I would like though to frame this into tactical, okay? Not necessarily the nature of the foul, right? You know, but is it a tactical foul? Is it stopping a promising attack or not? Because in the game, we have to cite both those things, just like that. And often we get the one piece, but we don't get the big picture, so we don't know that it's stopping a promising attack. Yes?
In one of the DOCSO clips, one of the key elements was we got to be looking at when the hold stops as opposed to start. Are we doing the same thing here?
I think that's the next clip.
Is that something we're considering? Does that eliminate the possibility for denying a promising attack? We're just looking at when the hold ends?
When the hold ends? Yeah.
Because I'm kind of with Karsten on this one.
That's the nature of the hold, that's a yellow card, not the stopping a promising attack.
I think it needs a caution, but if it's at the end of the hold, then it's hard to justify promising attack.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Yeah, that's a good point. Yes.
I think anywhere on the field with that kind of a deliberate, unsporting, obvious attempt to just stop a player in a cynical way, regardless of where that is on the field, players would be just fine with the yellow card.
Yeah, for the nature of the foul.
Yes.
Yeah. Is this a stopping or promising attack? No. Okay.
I
Yes.
think one thing we don't know is,
Yeah.
one thing we don't know because she's being held is in this position, she wasn't held, how close to the ball would she be? And then if we're looking at that angle, could we still have a promising attack? Could she be attacking towards goal and have a one-on-one situation going towards goal with options to cross for teammates?
If she's not held, she's got the ball into space, now what happens? Yeah, entirely, it's a valid point. Yes. Yes.
So no, not promising attack, as we've already mentioned, mainly because of the defenders and attackers. But something that makes me think tactical right away is something that's under that category, which is number 24. What is the direction of play? First of all, it's already in the attacking third. And then if you go down to holding, in 51 says, does the player hold an opponent to prevent him or her from gaining possession of the ball? And the key one for me was 52, which says, does the player hold an opponent to prevent him or her from taking up an advantageous position? Being in that area already doesn't, whether you have defenders on the attackers or not, sending in a cross is always something that gives you an advantage.
Yeah.
And so that's what immediately sparks tactical. Also, she doesn't even look at the player once. The moment the play leaves her foot, she knows there's no way I'm going to get this ball. The only way I'm going to stop this advantage to cross is stopping her. So.
Okay, that's a really good point. So, what if this is 75 minutes into the game, and we know that this yellow player has just been beating her like a drum, right? Up and down the sideline, That's more information. This is the first minute. Maybe you manage it. Defenders tend to get cards anyways, right? Who's a defender in here? Right? All you guys get cards, right? Maybe we want to try to manage it and save that card for a little bit later. Or maybe we can put that defender into our pocket now and she'll clean up the way she plays. I don't know. Right? Again, this is a discussion clip, so all you all are bringing some really good, valid points here, right? That this is right in that gray area between a clear yellow and a simple foul. You can go either way. The overriding piece is it's the first minute. Okay? That's maybe the biggest consideration where you're like, okay, maybe I'll round down, right? But if this is messy, right? Okay, first minute doesn't matter. We're going to stop this, right? But so I just want you to put that variable into your brain. It's like, okay, it's not absolute, right? Because we have these other factors. Yes.
I was going to say, and I'm wrong a lot, but in the first minute,
except on the pitch,
if I see a foul or something in this area, if I see this, I ask myself the question: if I don't card this now, even in the first minute, What happens to me in the 15th minute when it happens again? What happens in the 20th, 30th minute when it happens again? I don't see time being a big consideration in such a simple action.
It's how you then stage, right, your management of this foul. It's just not tweet point, is it? It's tweet, hey, come here. This is the first minute of the game, blah, 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 blah. You're making a big scene for everybody, right? You're doing this kind of thing. Not this, because now you really handcuffed yourself, right? You're doing this kind of thing. You're setting a scene so that they know, everybody expects if it happens again, oh yeah, this is going to be a card. What a knucklehead. Does that make sense?
Yes, except for the fact that it's the nature of the offense, and I mean, if you go 15 minutes into the game and you've already given the one, and then all of a sudden the other team does it, and you give them a yellow card, well, you've got a problem with your hands. Sure.
Again, it goes to how you set it up. I understand exactly what you're saying, right? And maybe that one for the other team, you go, hey, you're not paying attention? Everybody, we're not having that today. You each got your one, and let's go. But no more. You gotta, it depends how you manage it and set it up.
But as far as, there's no place in the game, in my opinion, as a referee for that. That should have a yellow. That's me.
Okay. Your point is fair, right? Are you gonna card every single time? I don't know.
We don't deal on that clue.
Exactly. This is, we're talking about the gray area of the game, right?
I just want to say something else, okay? Now, it started there, you don't think about it, and now happens 3 times the same thing in the game. And how are you going to, in the debrief, how are you going to handle that? How are you going to defend it? It's something also you need to think about. When I'm talking debrief, I'm talking about, you have to be talking to an assessor, right? Because the assessor should be able to recognize that.
Yeah.
So that's up to you. That's what I guess important standard is up to you. We can't tell you which one will be wrong or right in this case.
Yeah.
It's your decision, suppose the decision you take it over, and in the debriefing, hopefully you can explain to the assessor why you did what you did,
Yeah. 100% supportable yellow card. No problem. No problem. All right. Let's hit this one. Yeah, this is the one.
Oh, boy.
You want to see it again? Is that a one person says yes? That's all it takes. Okay, so if you've seen this clip, please do not vote. Please do not comment until towards the end. Some of you have seen it. All right. So, got your cards ready? Got your hands ready? 1, 2, 3. You got yellow. You got yellow. You got red. You got red. We got red. Have you guys all seen this over here? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. It's a really, really good clip. It's one of my favorite clips from this past year. All right. So, red card. Why is this a red card for you?
Holding. Who's speaking? Oh, that's me.
Okay.
No attempt to play the ball on the dog so clear opportunities.
Okay.
Proximity to goal.
So you have the 4Ds in place
yes.
here? Or so you have a red card, and it's not a challenge for the ball, which is why you have the red card.
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody else with a red card have any other piece to add to that? Okay. Yellow cards. Why is it a yellow card? Well, I know we had a few yellow cards, come on. Are the yellow cards changing their mind?
It looks like a trick.
Oh, yeah, it's a hole.
It's hard to see there. This one, this angle right there.
See the hole there on the shoulder? Okay, so we have a pull on the shoulder. So does anybody have a yellow card? Okay, so you have a red card?
I gotta go red.
You gotta go red, why?
Because it's not the body foul, it's denying non-disclosure.
Okay, again, for those of you that always heard, discuss this clip. All right, what does the law say about holding and continuation into the penalty area? Huh? It's where it ends, right? So if a hold starts outside the penalty area and goes into the penalty area, what do you have? You have a penalty kick, right? I feel like I'm talking to this side of the room because I think everybody else over here has seen this clip. Am I correct? More or less? Okay. Right? So, right, we can thereby infer that the hold is actually where the hold ends, not where it begins. Because otherwise we'd have the free kick outside the penalty area, correct? Right? Okay, so let's look at this then. If it's where it ends, let's go back to the wide view.
When is the hold start?
Yeah, I was gonna say, I thought it started in the field.
That's what I thought too.
Okay.
But you learn
Let's
like
think about
6 yards.
where the hold ends. It's going down. Now that we have all the D's met for Doxo,
No.
we don't, do we? It's not obvious because we have this defender now. It's so important to take that image in our mind at the exact right moment because it's easy to talk ourselves into and out of a Doxo. Go ahead.
So we completely ignored the fact that she was slowed down. If she wasn't down, she would have already taken a shot well before the other player came over. So I get what you're saying, and I'm not gonna argue with you, because that's how it is. That's how it is.
That's what the eye sounds. I'm not that smart.
But what you're trying to say is we have to take into consideration the fact that she was slowed down by a defender, and because she was slowed down, one of the 4 Ds is not present anymore. Is that what you're saying?
Basically, we don't know when she's going to shoot. We don't know.
You don't think that we could tell if she
What do we
wasn't
say the foul?
held? If she wasn't held, she would have long. Fix it right there. She would have already had the shot.
Right there.
Yeah.
Back
there.
Right there.
So
She's not being held.
There.
she can take a shot right there.
I don't know. This is a really difficult clip. This is really, really challenging, right? So it's not clear when she, you didn't look at the end goal line view. You know, we're not clear when she could have taken that shot. But that's where the tough matters. Right? So you have to decide, right? At the moment of the game, you have to take this picture and decide: is this, yellow or red, right? Or is it just a penalty kick?
You don't really give a penalty kick, so what? You get arrested, right?
Do you have a comment?
Well, there's the same one.
Right, it's really difficult, right? This is the one that I think really pushes people's brains a lot because of this whole concept. It's a hold where it ends, and we have to take that snapshot the right moment in time, and we have to discern. I think here it's a little bit easier to see that she wasn't set to take a shot when she gets cut, right? There might be a different clip where that ball is on her left foot, you know, and she's getting tugged, and it's clear that that prevented. You know, it's a different clip, right? So we only take this one. This one's tough. It's tough, right? But the important takeaway is the hold occurs where it ends. Okay?
Would the entire stadium be okay with the red?
No, those Salt Lake fans don't have a clue. They're gonna go bananas. But you know what? Your bosses are all gonna go, wow, that was a really sharp decision. That showed some really high thinking in reading the game. Yeah.
Well, that's the question I'm gonna bring up then, is if we're saying it's not dog, so we're thinking spa inside the penalty area. Now we're just gonna give the penalty kick and no yellow?
Because it's a hold.
Because of the hold, we're okay.
Yeah, so you still got a yellow card, right, for the challenge.
The nature of the challenge, okay.
Yeah, still got a yellow card. Right.
So help me understand. So it's going to be in caution. What category would you say?
Holding. That's one of the behavior. Holding.
But that is for the, it's going to be for the spa, but the holding spa holding.
Was it not spot?
Doxo is a spot.
Doxo.
It's obvious, it's type of spot.
For me, are two different things, but. Okay.
Yeah. And the spa doxo, is it separate now or is it under unsporting behavior?
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
It's under unsporting behavior, right? So they put it, yeah. Okay. All right, good people.
Because of the hold, nature of the hold, we're giving caution. Before we're saying.
All right. Now, some of you have already had a presentation on handballs, so hopefully you haven't seen these clips. Okay? So we talk about natural or unnatural, right? It's hands on the body, so additional movement, do they redirect it? Deliberate action, are they making their body bigger? Everybody knows that if you're sliding on the ground as a defender, right, and they shoot the ball into your arm, we're expecting a penalty, or a foul, right, because they're making their body bigger, they're taking that risk, right? One thing that, well, I think it'll come up here, but one thing to look for, arms in a natural position, and the ball hits the arm, and you're trying to decide, did they take advantage of it? Did they redirect it? Look to see if they make a fist or if they stiffen their arm. If they're doing either of those things, right, by making the fist, they're tightening up their muscles and stiffening their arm. They are now making their arm into a wall, right? And so now they're redirecting it, as opposed to moving the arm back out of the way with the ball. Make sense? So when you're live at a game, you will be able to see that. You just have to be keen to be aware, like, oh, I gotta be paying attention. Did they stiffen that arm or not? If they stiffen the arm, boom, that's a handball. All right, so let's look at some clips. One more?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, 1, 2, 3. All right, so almost everybody, well, not everybody has a foul. Some people have fouls. Okay, why no foul? Back row. Are you just?
Not going too much, anybody.
It's
offside, the defender's got her hand up.
Oh. Okay. Other thoughts on why you don't consider this a handball? Are you guys just like taking a TV timeout back there? Who else had no handball? You guys, okay.
She looked in a natural position. Maybe she clamps, it's hard to tell, but the other player, let's do the camera.
So this far away. She just looked like a-
Like her arm was hit on back as opposed to.
Yeah.
Was her arm playing the ball or the ball?
I just didn't get a good.
I didn't think she moved her hand out of the way. Her arm out of the way.
See, to me, I just thought it hit her thigh.
So the ball,
Oh, okay.
the ball bounces.
She was fist.
It goes, yeah, she's moving her arm out of the way so it doesn't hit when she plays it. And then when the ball hits the arm, it doesn't come into the ball, it actually flings away, so I'm thinking she didn't intentionally play. She didn't intentionally play, the ball played the arm.
Probably like this.
But did she?
But she's moving it out of the way.
She was trying to move it out of the way to play her chest.
Okay.
Is this natural? Are we doing yellow?
For girls. What's that foul? Yeah, we are.
Number 43, is the player's hand or arm in a natural position or an unnatural position? I don't think this is a natural position. She starts there and like, yes, she was moving her arms out of the way, but if she gets a shot off of that because of that, is that fair? No.
You know, but that's not a consideration though. If she gets a shot. If she
Yeah,
gets a shot.
it is. Yeah, roll with that, we're gonna come back to that.
So maybe I'm on that same thing, but to me, that looks like a natural position of her arm, but then the ball drops right back at her feet.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't
matter.
That's what I'm asking. Is there a consideration for an advantage of that on an inadvertent handball? Because I think clearly the ball plays her arm. She doesn't play.
Okay, so you have to decide, does she redirect it? Does, her arm's in a natural position, but then she redirect it?
That's right.
That's what you have to decide. Okay, so we're gonna come to that and get back to that piece with this other piece. Yes?
44, does the player attempt to avoid the ball striking in hand? No, she extends her arm with the movement. And then 50, does the player try to deceive the referee by handling the ball? Yes. She's trying to use for natural playing position, to then strain her arm. It's to act as if she's, or at least from the deliberateness, that she's has a natural playing position of moving her arm.
Okay. I got what you're saying, yes.
Just going back to your comment, I don't know your name, but as far as this game goes, who puts the ball back in net? What is your gut feeling? You feel good about it?
I didn't feel good about it when Germany stopped it on the goal line against USA in the semifinals. I wasn't good with that.
So
The defense gained an advantage on the goal line. That was a goal.
So this is an
And
attacking
the referee
player.
didn't call it.
This is an attacking
And he did it
player.
correctly, though. He did it correctly. It's not, it is irrelevant, the outcome of the ball. It's not the wrong consideration. What consideration? Fine.
Okay,
What
so-
Consideration for yourself, players can score a goal by delivering the ball.
But then you're assuming it's deliberate. So I think what we're talking about is whether it's deliberate.
And what is the whole theme for tonight?
Roll up.
Gray areas, right? Yes.
So for me, the most important consideration with handball is 46. Does the player prevent an opponent gaining possession of the ball? So if the handball, like putting aside deliberate, if the fact that she touches it with her hand changes which team has possession, then for me, that's an important factor.
Okay, so you all are bringing up some really good points, right? Because it's in a natural position, she doesn't try to avoid it, right? But the overriding thing is, what does the football world expect? If this is put in the back of the net, what are they gonna be talking about? Is that a handball? Right?
You get one, you don't pull it.
It's simple, it's safe. If this is an offender, no. Right? And we're gonna see some other clips that are gonna be really clear on this point. Yes.
What I see, I can be rubber-like, is what the defending attacker, look at the attacker body language, it's telling you what she's going to do to begin with. At the beginning, her body is not, her arms are in natural position. a ball is ready to go a certain way, and bounces from underneath the ball, it goes somewhere else, then she redirects the ball with the hand. That's what I see. Look at the body language of it. It's turning to her left. And the ball is going to her right. Even though at the beginning of the hand is in the lateral position, now she brings it in to redirect the ball.
She's not gonna argue with you. Nobody on white's gonna argue with you, except maybe the goalie down at the other end of the field. Always. Yeah, she's got the best of you.
The only thing I know is that you're going to end the game.
It didn't happen. Everybody want to see it again? Okay, you want to see it again?
No, I'm saying it's
All right, yeah, no foul, hand bounce, simple foul, it's just your hand, or yellow card, or red card, right? 1, 2, 3. We got one yellow, we got a yellow, and we got some simple fouls. That I don't know if I want to. Okay, so we have just 2 yellow cards. I'm gonna ask that here because you said you speak so much. But you speak a lot too. Why is this a yellow card?
Where's the yeah. Is he gonna play it or not? He's just showing the card. I'm trying to see the referee.
Why is this yellow card?
Promising attack. I feel like it's, I mean, he changes what he does with it.
It's a woman to begin with.
I'm on the front and I still can't.
You make a good referee one.
I already am. Okay, well, she has the ball. I think the problem is that what makes me want to swallow it on time at the same time is that she knows that she did and she's just like, okay, fine.
Okay, so for you, because it's an intentional.
But if she had continued on, my target still holds the same truth for me.
What do you mean if she continued on?
I mean, the handling of the ball.
Yeah.
What could be a potential attack, I'm not 100% sure because of how promising.
Okay. And, okay, go ahead.
So for me, it's the, stopping the promising attack. It just, because he's got this, if this, red player.
Okay.
Makes it through here.
So 46.
Maybe got the flip, okay.
So if she doesn't handle it, is that ball going to red?
Yes.
Yeah. Clearly, is it?
No, it's just a deflection.
Okay, go in that direction.
Yeah,
Does that have enough force that it's going obviously directly to red?
I don't think so.
It's not clear, is it?
I think you can reach it. No problem.
You think it can reach her, no problem?
Yes, senor.
The trajectory and the pace of that ball, it's not 100% clear, right? And that's what was the law change this year with handballs? In a nutshell, not every handball is a yellow card anymore. Right? It's only for stopping a promising attack, right? That will be giving a yellow card. Okay? And this promising attack needs to be clear. And this is a case where it's not clear. It's obviously a handball. If the grotesque handball, everybody's going to be clamoring for the yellow card because the players don't know that the law changed this past year, so you'll have to do some education on the fly, right? But this is just a simple foul. And maybe, hey, what are you doing? You know, that I'm talking to. Okay? That's good.
Change the video because that red plate is still there.
Change
I can keep players out of the.
What's
Okay.
FIFA say?
Let's go to the next one here. All right, this is a really good one.
No.
Okay, you want to see it again? No? All right. No foul, hands down, or hand up for foul or yellow card. 1, 2, 3. Okay, if you've seen it, please don't participate in the discussion. So we have a smattering with fouls and a lot with no fouls. Okay. Have you ever seen this one before?
No, yeah, I haven't seen it.
Okay, so why is this a foul for you?
I don't even know, like, necessarily which direction to try to see. To me,
But she's not doing the goal, she's doing it better. She's not that. It's not the goal. She scores.
Yeah. Zoom, it's there.
So I know that it was brought up before about whether there's advantage that it does hit the hand and it does come down to the player. Did they gain advantage from the position they're in? I don't see her in an unnatural position. It seems athletic, 6 inches from the side. It is off of a couple. Looks like maybe some misdirection there. I'm not sure if it touched any heads there, so I think it's natural. Not foul.
So you have no foul.
Yeah.
You have a good call.
Good.
Okay, you have a comment?
Going back to the statement of what the game wants, she's gonna just put the ball down with an obvious touch of her hand and they score a goal. The fans want that. Does the game want that?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna bring this up then. So for you, you're thinking, oh, this was an obvious handling. Well, and she scores. So should there be a sanction? What does the law say?
In that case,
I'm actually leading you down a rabbit hole. So in the interest of time, because we're coming up on 9, let me go through this clip for you. All right. Who is this player? One of the best players in the world, right? Let's have that first of all. So the ball comes, it skims off, right, the head, right, and it takes an unexpected short bounce. Right? Looks like she's trying to prepare to collect it on her thigh, right? And then you see how it hits her, bounces up into her arm. What part of her hand does it hit? Right?
Yeah.
Do you see the energy going back up into her shoulder?
Yeah.
Right? So is this an intentional handball? Is she redirecting the ball?
Yes.
Does this meet any definition of a handball? No, not at all. However, what does the football world expect? You can't allow the goal, right? It's not clean, yes.
Plus it's 3-0 in 78.
That too. Sinclair doesn't want to score this way. She's too good. If she could have scored any other way, she would have. Do we expect the whistle? Do we expect the card? No, not at all. Right? She's not trying to deceive. It would be heinous to caution you for this. you say to her, I'm so sorry, she goes, I know that really was a drag, right? And you have a laugh, right? Everybody expects it, right? But we can't allow a goal off of this. That's an offender? Are we gonna call it PK? No, right? No, and you're gonna have to sell it, yes.
Does the fact that it hits the defender change your mind at all in the sense of like, or does it help you, better said? Does it help you say, no handball?
Yeah, absolutely,
Because
because
it's
now it changed the trajectory. She couldn't trap it on her side. That's what she's expecting to do. Yep, absolutely. Okay, all right.
We are calling a handball, correct?
We're calling a handball only because she scores, right? Only, if this is at the middle of the field, it's nothing, right? Even if she doesn't score and, you know, she's about to take a shot on goal, I'm calling a handball because I don't want to pull the ball out of the back of the net, right? I don't want to create that drama, right? Now, if her back is to goal and she's at the corner of the penalty area, right? Now it's different. It's a completely different thing because she's not about to score. Okay? All right, real quick on this one, I'm gonna just give you the answers. Okay. Anybody want to see that again? Right, the ball is unexpected. Right? This is a natural jumping motion, right? And it deflects up into her tricep. Right? Is she intentionally driving the ball downwards? No, but I had a referee try to convince me that she did this intentionally. I'm like, no way. I don't think that back.
You see the ball right now.
She doesn't even know where the ball is. Now, if this ball had gone this way, we'd have a handball. No question, right? But this is a deflection. This is like short distance, unexpected. Who knows what's going on here? Okay? So we expect you to come in. No, keep playing. No intent, right? If you see the drama. You see how she locks her elbow? Yeah. Right? It's short distance, unexpected, right? And if she just lets that ball go by, no problem. But she locks it, right? That's the thing to look for. The pop of the elbow, right? The tightening of the bicep or fist, right? Gives you that piece of information, okay?
Oh, duh.
Right? Clearly, handball. Right? And the section.
Sir, I was trying to chest.
And why does she do that? She's beat, right? So this is a yellow card for stopping a promising attack. Okay? Again, USA.
Chance it.
Handball, right? Right. Do you need to give a yellow card on that? No. Okay. Now, if she drops it, and I think in the video, there's one clip where the ball's played in, and she drops it, and she drops it on her arm, she drops it, so she scores, right? That's deceiving a referee and a yellow card. No question about it, right?
Because she has to take a few more touches to the goal. We're saying not trying to deceive the referee.
I don't know. Like that, this clip we just saw here, that's too far away.
Okay.
Yeah. She's not immediately trying to score a goal.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, she's trying to deceive, but it's not a yellow card deceive. That makes sense? That makes sense. Okay. Offside real quick, just because you're gonna see this, and you know, offside, it does translate to every level, right? A poor touch is a poor touch. We can't help it that under 11 kid isn't 5 foot yet. And, you know, she jumps up and it pops off her ponytail, okay? So let's look at these four real quick. All right, offside position. Right? And boom. So what do you think? Offside or no offside? No offside, right? She has time, she has space, right? She's not being challenged for the ball, right? She just makes a poor decision and a bad touch, right? Everybody's gonna be going bananas, right? Because they're gonna see that, you know, the red player immediately wins the ball, but at the time that the white player played the ball, she was under no pressure.
So even though she came from the offside position, is that what you're saying?
No, I'm saying that the offside is now negated, that white plays the ball right here. Now the offside is negated. Oh, yeah.
Deliberate play right there.
Yeah, deliberate play. Yeah.
Always play.
This is bad, poor play. Not a penalty kick. All right, what do you think? Offside or no offside?
No offside.
Are we assuming she really was in an offside position?
She really is in an offside position. She really is in an offside position. Okay? And she is, right?
Deliberate play.
Right? So offside or not? If you have offside, we flag it. And why is she offside? She's challenging for the ball. Exactly. Good. She's in her line of sight. Right? Yes, you have a comment?
I was wondering about the header.
Yeah, there's a header. There's a deliberate header.
It's a deflection.
Watch her come down.
She's expecting the ball.
Yeah,
Yeah, she redirects the ball.
She put her head in this.
Yeah, you have to decide. That's part of this equation. Is it's a challenge. You have to decide. You know, is this defensive posture, or she's deliberately trying to play that ball? It's a short distance, right? So it's a little gray, but for the discussion point of this clip really is this challenge here. But in a game, you have to decide, what was that? Is that
But most balls that play off the top of the head and continue, at least I've seen in the games we played, we've recycled on that, and that was the offside.
Okay.
What I've seen.
So do people say this is offside or no?
This is offside, it's challenging.
Okay, so they saw
Interference
the
in a motor.
header, or they saw the header and like.
Right. Yeah, yeah.
So that's not a bad touch now, when he said like bicycle kick it out and
This is a bad question. The issue is, it's interference with an opponent. The attacker,
something, an option for her.
the attacker is challenging her for the ball. I'm offside, right? And I'm coming up here to challenge for the ball, and now any play you make that's bad or questionable, I'm interfering with you. All right, does that make sense?
If she's not there challenging, she may just tap it back to the keeper.
Yeah.
Okay. I still think that if that player is facing that play and the ball comes to her and it skims off the top of her head, I mean, if her head's not moving, I think that's a really kind of dodgy situation, calling that not deliberate play by that defender.
Okay, again, it's something you have to think about. What is this distance, you think?
10 yards. Five.
It's about seven.
So we know these are 5, right? So it could be 5-ish, more or less, right?
About 6.
As long as we're somewhere between 4 and 7, right? Right? So the distance, she's got a clear line of sight, right? And you have to decide as the referee, does she intentionally play the ball? Because now the distance is kind of starts getting a little bit questionable, and it's to her head, you know. Is this, you have to read her body language. Is she trying to protect herself, right? Or is she trying to play it? I don't know. And I can't tell from here with this quality of clip. You know, I can't tell if that's just protection or not. And it, you know, at the moment of the game, you will have a better read of that by just looking at their body language. Okay? If you're trying to flick it or head it, your shoulders likely are going to be open, right? And not down, closed and hunched in, right? Because here you're trying to make yourself smaller, maybe. Yes.
I think we can also take, yes, the referee has a decent line of view of that, but I think it's unclear whether that's a cleared movement. And so I think at least from what I know, FIFA wants more goals. So if she's in doubt, she's not going to call that as, okay, hold on.
If she's doing,
I've got it back way around. Yeah, I was going on the fly on that one.
Okay. This is a really good point though for discussion is in a game, this is your games, this is gonna happen at all levels. And you have to read this player's body language to decide, did they deliberately play it or are they taking a defensive posture and trying to protect themselves, right? And I can't tell you that answer until you get into your game, right? And we see your clip. But you have to be thinking, because that changes then all of this, right? So that's a good point. I don't have an answer for you, but.
Nobody's gonna see the bar for that.
No one's what?
Nobody's gonna see the bar for that.
Yeah.
I mean, and the video, the purpose, it was they played trying to get the ball over there at the other side, right?
Yeah, the purpose of the video is this challenge.
The challenge
Yeah.
over there.
Yeah. Okay. So we're on side.
Good box out.
Is he offside?
Yes. And he influences.
All right, offside or no offside? Offside. For what? Your opponent, right? Very difficult, very difficult. And you're gonna be seeing it if it happens.
No offside.
Right? Why is it offside position, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Offside or no?
Offside.
Why? Time, distance, line of sight, not challenging for the ball, right? Bada bing, bada boom. Good.
Even though that doesn't really look like a deliberate play, it looks like it just bounces off. And so does that then factor in? Remember, it's
It's
level.
considered a deliberate play because he's attempting to. We're not. She has time, she has sight, she's not under any pressure, how she responds.
Okay, I misunderstood what you're saying. So,
Okay.
I was thinking you were saying that the time and minus sight was the attacker.
Oh, no.
And I'm like,
Yeah, okay. I know it's late, people. Oh, my God. All right, you've done well with this. I really want to see, let's see if we can cram through this. Positioning move, because this is something that we want you to be doing at all levels of the game. And if we can get you to do it now, then when you promote up and we're assessing you at the USL and NWSL and whatever else maybe you have in your fortune, we can be talking about other stuff. Okay. But this presentation actually takes like 45 minutes and then there's a quiz. We're not going to be able to do the quiz, but maybe in a different session we can do the quiz. All right, so we all know about the diagnosis system of control, right? Yes. If you need to take a bio break, jump out and do it. We're just doing this on the fly, right? Hey, who's this for? What level of referee? 8 to 9. Yeah, 8 to 9, right? Because we got to teach them how to run, right? We don't, at this level, we don't do that anymore, right? You got to get, and we don't even start, we're not even talking about getting wide anymore. And we talk about getting off your diagonal maybe, right? But we got to get you to see. right? And in the IFAB, they have really good material, and we're not deviating from that, right? And this is what it says, the best position, right, that the referee, the best position is one for which the referee can make the correct decision, which could be anywhere on the field. I've seen referees make great penalty decisions in the center circle. You know? Not ideal, right? Okay, but your positioning, you have to take into consideration, you know, the level of play, the teams, right? You know, the tactics of the teams, okay? We want you close. So we've been talking about proximity and talking about proximity all the time, right? So what are the critical elements? I just touched on the one. First one though is angle of view. If you're in the center circle, you can call a great penalty if you got the right angle, right? What's the most beneficial angle to see any challenge, right? And then you need proximity. Why do you need proximity? Self-call, right? Credibility. Okay. Okay. But you have to get angle first. We've always been talking angle, 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 right? And then you close the distance.
So what about you got it cut off? Counter attack.
We're gonna get to that.
Yeah, what is that?
We're gonna get to that. Hold on. Okay. So here the referee's behind. Is this fair or foul? Can't tell, can you? Right? Here we have an angle of view. Is this fair or foul? It's a foul, right? And guess what? This is actually fair. But by having the right angle of view, we know, oh yeah, that's a foul. Maybe a card. Okay. All right, so let's look here at this clip. Right, here's the wide angle view. You see Geiger's position. He's getting an angle, right? And then he closes proximity, and by the time the guy looks up, he's standing right over him, right? What's one of the ways that you can tell that that was a good challenge for the ball? What's a key piece of information? Direction of the ball, right? It didn't go forward. It didn't go to goal. It went out to the right. The attacker's not going to take the ball out to the right, right? So don't forget to look for that. Yes.
So, you know, you could be at an angle anywhere on the field.
Right.
So when we say that, are we talking perpendicular to the touch lines?
No, to the challenge. To the.
So really, I mean, depending on where I am on the field, I'm at an angle here, I'm at an angle there, I'm at an angle there. So for me, I move to a place where somebody's not in my line of sight.
Okay.
Where I can see it better, or where I can get to see the players from the side instead of the back.
Yes.
Is that the same thing? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, because you want to be able to see the two players and the ball, so you can see the nature of the challenge and the ball at the same time.
I guess I do that. I just didn't know that.
Yeah, we all should be doing it. Ideally, it's just we tend to get caught, trapped, flat to play, behind play, right? So this stuff we should all know, right? We tend to be reactive though instead of proactive, and what we from this presentation we want you to start to becoming more proactive, right? Where is the ball going? Where's the next phase of play? You've heard that terminology before, right? Right? So the referee should be moving non-stop. If there's no pressure, the referee should be looking out for opportunities to be working forward. Right? Everybody understand what I mean by no pressure?
Yeah.
Yeah? Right? The defender's not challenging for the ball? Yes.
I think Assessor said anticipating too much. How do we
like bring that back? How do we find that balance of anticipating enough but not killing it?
Okay, I would need to know the context of that. So, and that's where I would bring it back to the pressure. If there is high or moderate pressure, then you have to linger. If there's no pressure, then we need to be reading for that next phase of play. And maybe that's what they're saying is that, hey, maybe there's some moderate pressure here, and there was a turnover, and we needed you to be reading that a little faster than taking off and thinking about that next phase because we still have this phase to finish. Yes, Holly?
And just to add on to your comment, as far as anticipation, it's gonna be very based on gender as well. So women, you're gonna anticipate, you're gonna be behind the play, you're gonna have time to catch up. Men's game is gonna be much faster, so you're gonna be ahead of play. You have that thing that you have to worry about as well.
So I think what I heard you say is with the women's game, it's easier to recover if you get caught out of position?
Correct. And at times.
At times, yeah. Ideally, you're reading the play so well that that's not going to happen, but that does happen, right? We tend to fall into old habits. Okay. So a reactive referee, they move to where the play's already been. They're chasing the passes. We've all done it. We've all seen referees do it, right? By the time you get there, the play's already someplace else. Okay? Now, also for assessors here, please incorporate this. This is a huge point of emphasis this year. So please incorporate this into your analysis of the match, into your debrief with the referees. Even shoot video with your phone showing, the progression of the passes and how the referee's moving. Reinforcing the good stuff, pointing out, oh, maybe there's a better way to do it. Okay? All right. Areas of consideration, right? You got your body orientation and position. As we were talking about, you got to see between the players and the ball. Right? In an open play, is there an eminent challenge, or can I now work ahead to get to the next spot, right? At the moment of breakdown, everybody familiar with this term? The breakdown? No. This is another way to say the turnover, right? When the ball turns over, when there's now a counterattack, right? The breakdown, when the attacking team no longer has the ball, it's just the play broke down for them, okay? And then the 3/3 of the field, everybody's familiar with this, I'm sure by now. Okay, and then positioning on set pieces, right? The view in front of the players, the aerial challenges, view for areas off the ball, because the referee has to see everything. All right, so we're gonna start with the top two first, right? Body position orientation. We need to see what needs to be seen, right? So you got to look for the challenges off the ball. We've all seen games and situations where players are getting hit off the play, right? Where it's moving to, right? And after the ball's played away, you got to make sure the player didn't come in late and get her, right? And it's all about body position. So let's see, we got Portland, Vancouver. Right, so referee's moving. Right. Oh, come on. Right. That's where exactly I wanted it. Right. So red had just turned the ball over here. The thing I want to point out is, right, red just broke down, right, white's got the ball, Vancouver. Look how the referees position themselves. In the attacking third, we want your shoulders parallel to the goal line, right, and moving your head and moving side to side. He is anticipating the next phase of play. Why can he do that? What is he reading?
No
No pressure. Where's this ball going? It's going long, right? So if I'm Alan Kelly, right, and the goal's here, do I want to be looking at the ball?
No.
Right? I'm gonna have to turn all the way around, and by then I've missed everything that just happened while the ball was in the air, right? I can turn my head, right, like that so fast, right, and see everything. And that's what he does. The ball ends up being dropped into this area, okay? Very subtle, very subtle. Makes all the difference in the world, though.
The anticipation isn't always moving to it, but preparing yourself to it.
Yeah. Some of your sessions will talk to you about opening your body up to play. Okay? All right. Let's see. Hope this plays. All right, look how the referee's got parallel here. He's swiveling with his head. He's looking over here. He knows what's happening. No pressure. Doesn't need to come over. Right? Look at that body positioning. He just turns his head and he sees everything. Bada bing, bada boom. Decision rendered. Right? That's what we want to see from you in the attacking third.
What?
This is why you take a fitness test. This is so annoying. What? Come on, ref. Okay. Now look at this referee.
I would have said for half a second there yet.
I'm sorry?
I would have said for half a second there yet poor positioning because he had like 4 players right in the line, but then the situation took care of itself.
No, it didn't. Look at it. He's chasing play here. Look at that. Why is he why does he have his body like that? There's no pressure. He's missing everything else. Right? Then the ball's played over there. Oh, I'm gonna go chase there. Right? And now look at that run. Why does he take a run like that? I don't know. He's running negatively. Right? In a negative fashion, and the ball, where's the play going? Is the play gonna go this way? No, it's gonna go this way. Right? And we'll be able to see on the wide angle. Right? And now he's again chase. So this is a reverse side. See how he's chasing over here, and now the ball goes back over here?
Yeah.
Right? He should have stayed out over here.
You probably have a lot of energy.
He is young.
Paul, what if he's anticipating that the team is going to be taking shots from the top of the penalty area there? He's anticipating players will be filling. You see, there's 3 players across there. One steps out in that space. You see his line start to come, kind of perking like straight towards the AR, like he's got an angle going down, and then right as the ball gets out to that outside, he starts going straight towards the sideline.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's because he's trying to stay out of the middle there because he's anticipating that there's going to be a play at the top of the box and he doesn't want to be in the middle of it.
And the way to not do that,
Was
that
to stay.
shoulders parallel to the goal line.
Yeah.
He's moving out this way. Oh, I see the light pressure. They're going to cross it. Now I can move back this way, and I can see everything, and I can turn and maneuver if I find that I'm in a passing lane. Okay. There's another example.
Dashing out there.
You see that movement there? Now he's chasing the play. Now he's having to be reacted. Could he see what happens? What's happening while this ball's right in the air right now? Does he know what's going on behind his back? No, not till there, right? If he had continued what he started out well doing with his parallel, right, and patrolling out to the right as he needed to, right? As he sees that there's no pressure, the ball will crash, he just turns his head. Voila. See our proximity? Oh, yeah. Does he have angle of view? We'll see it better on the replay. He's got a good angle of view and he's seeing everything, right? The guy knocks him in the head. So he gives a red card. Hey, good angle of view, good proximity. Yeah. Same game as earlier.
Where's our red?
So he's anticipating, rightly so, right, the goalie's gonna thump it. Right? Because there's no pressure, right? So that's fine. And what's
But those, we get in trouble in assessments for not closing on when the pressure comes to the keeper, is when something happens. It's an awkward situation where you distance yourself, and then the keeper decides to take forever in a day to release the ball and play Russian roulette.
Yeah.
Now we're standing at midfield because we've squared up from what we think is a pump, and it gets deflected by that defender and ground position.
We have to read it. Yeah, I mean, that's why we expect you to be athletic. Right? All right, so I'm just gonna think about how many times we've done this. We've taken a position short, we're tired, right? And we let the ball get kicked over our head, and we're flat to play. Can we tell what happened? No, you guys can't see too well. Right?
Oh, sorry.
Right? We need for the referee to be here or here, yes? Get that angle of view. And he didn't do that. So now he has no idea what just occurred. Okay. So, movement at the breakdown. Yes?
You mentioned one of the clips about a referee going negative.
Yeah.
Is that something we should try to avoid pretty much at any point in the game? Or is there times when it's okay to go negative in our runs to allow play to develop?
If you're caught in the attacking third, go negative.
Okay.
This is later in the presentation. When you find that you're caught in play, and you're like, oh, criminy, I'm in the middle of everything. Instead of going back downfield, just back up. And one of the things the fitness instructors are doing with the referees, they're actually working on strengthening their calves so they can be more explosive backing up. Okay. So in your training, maybe you want to do that. Okay. So change of possession is the breakdown. Referee's got to retreat quickly, get back on the control path, reset, and start rereading the game. Okay. Warning signs. Referee static. How many of us been static on the pitch? All of us. Right? We allow the counterattack to pass us. We don't want to do that. right? When that happens, it's typically because we're not reading the play well enough. We're not anticipating, right? And then if it does happen, because it does happen sometimes, then we have a lack of urgency, right? Everybody's heard that, I'm sure by now in their debriefs, gotta have urgency. Okay. So let's look at Philly Orlando here. Right? Look at that. Look how he's working ahead. Here's the wide angle. Trying to find the ref. Okay. He sees the breakdown right there, and now he's reading and getting ahead, getting ahead, getting ahead. Really athletic, good movements, right? Because you're taking an extreme position. Okay. So look right here, the referee's static. And what just happened? Boom. Should have been a red card, right? Right? The referee comes in, that's good. Now but again, look how he's chasing play.
Should he stop the signal play on? Is that?
Yeah, that's part of it.
Yeah.
Hence we can now use the one hand play on rather than.
Yeah. Right? So this we think this phase of play is over and we like, whew, relax. But the game is still going on. We can't stop. Right? We need to be moving. Yes.
I think something that, well, from what I saw, it seemed like it killed him, that it's like he stopped and changed direction. Something that I've heard a lot of times is just keep going, just curve it, and you don't lose that speed of muscle pain, run the other way. Just keep running with that same inertia, just curve it.
Yeah, use that inertia, you're right.
Another way is you can pull out the side-to-side motion.
Lateral movement? Yeah.
I mean, some referees don't use side-to-side often as they should. Pull out the step, start that, then you can see where it's going, but then you're ready to go wherever you need to go.
Okay. All right, New England, Montreal. Okay. Okay, so the referee correctly adjusted the breakdown. What did he just do? We're gonna go to the rest of the Just expect a bomb. This is something I've seen. This referee did a lot.
Over anticipate.
Right, so he's he's running with his back to play. What happened to like a lateral movement? Right, opening his body up to the play so that he can be prepared to go either direction. There was a beat. There's a beat? A beat.
No, read it, like.
Bumblebee.
Is there pressure?
Yes.
Is there pressure?
No.
Not really. Right? This guy's not putting pressure. Right? We would like to see the referee already up here. If the referee's up here, do they still have an angle of view if this player comes clattering in late? Right, the Dallas player gets him? Right?
So
The referee is static here. You want to guess what happens?
He has to run along right now.
And now there's a decision in the penalty area. Right? Because he's static.
It's all on those systems.
That's what the ball came
Save the day.
So as there's the breakdown right there.
Go.
Go. Why is he static? right?
She's laser.
He's right in that lane. Right in the last lane. He gets up here immediately, he's through that flat passing lane, and is already accelerated if for the long haul. Yeah.
So if he is up there where you were just pointing, which direction is he facing?
Oh, we want to see the lateral movement.
So, but is he parallel to the touch lines?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, he would be, because his body's gotta be open to this, right?
Yeah.
Because he's got stuff to manage, right?
Yeah.
So, the goals that way, they're coming down this way. I gotta have my body open to see this, but prepared to turn, because I can turn my head like that, and I can see what's happening, and I can explode. Yeah, that's it.
You can even see the player winding up to the long ball and he's
Yeah.
standing there.
Yeah.
All right. All right, so here are the referees and static. Right, no pressure, right? Referees in the bad habits. He reverted back and is trailing play. Well, it's hard to see here. He actually recognizes what's happened, and now he's accelerating. All right, look at that urgency. I don't know why. Right, but you can see how he's now gotten into the attacking third, ahead of play, and now he's reorienting his body, prepared for that final third. Right, that's really good. That's going to happen to you. You have to recognize it and accelerate and recover. Teach yourself that. If you can do that this year, that'll be great. Right? Next year we'll work on the other stuff. Static. Alright. That's the breakdown right there. Right? Look at the referee's movement. What were we talking about with the breakdown? And getting ahead. Why can't he be accelerating there? Getting into the attacking third.
He let the counterattack passing by.
He did, yeah. There's the breakdown.
So there's launch the fire.
So, as soon as this player receives the ball, why can't he take this beeline, or he sees where it's going, this beeline, right? And now to be in this space, because this is dead space. No one's going to use it, right? Because he knows the ball's probably going to go here. Right? So this is the best place to run. This, if you can run a lot, because then you're going to have to cut back in, but it's going to create a lot more distance. If you want to be efficient, take it inside line, right? Is that the traditional diagonal? No. Okay. So the defending thirds, generally, right? We want to see you controlling here, okay? In case there's a turnover. Right? If you are on the side of the center circle, you're too far away to recover from turnovers, right? And also the team tactics. What are we seeing with team tactics now? When the teams are defending and the opponent's a defending third, they're putting pressure on them, right? We see that with Brazil all the time. Okay, middle third, right? Oh, we expect you on top of the center circle, right? And patrolling this area. Okay, so let's look here at this video clip.
Top of the screen.
Ball's right here. Look how, so the ball's in the middle third, referee's at the top of the center circle, patrolling, right? Now it's going into the defensive third, and this clip is slow motion. Right, he's getting into the bottom of the center circle. right, and patrolling this zone. And this is all low pressure, right? So that's an example of really good movement, just in really slow motion, sorry. All right, attacking third. Again, we talk about shoulders parallel to the goal line, lateral, 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 ready to go in any direction, right? Any direction.
Can you go back? Can you go back?
What? Yeah.
Need a picture.
Got it?
No,
Well.
my phone is out of battery. No.
Okay. See how he's squaring up to the goal line? And he's backing up. There's an example of negative movement that's appropriate. He's clearing a passing lane. And now he's getting forward. He's immediate attack. And he's over on the right. Why? To help, in case there's a challenge on that part of the penalty area. And to see that challenge here, all he has to do is turn his head. Right? So easy, so efficient.
Do you feel like you got, because we had similar clips where they were going too far towards the AR, you felt like they were chasing? Do you feel like that maybe a little deep in that one? You really didn't anticipate the cross?
No.
That's a good question.
Cross, you can make it, I mean, track you around, make it arcing run.
If we were to refine this, that's good there.
It's too close.
No.
Do you think right here he could be moving more towards?
His left?
He needs,
Ready for that?
he needs to be going here until he sees that. As soon as he reads this player's gonna cross it, yeah, he could be moving diagonally more quickly. Right? If he sees that he's going this way, then he's done well. But as soon as he sees that cross, right, that's why we gotta learn to read the body language, right? Here's a home call. Look at that proximity, that angle of view, how he's squared up. Right? He's reading, he knows he's got a big decision to make. Who's gonna say who? Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to. Why is Alan straddling the penalty area? It'll help him if there's a decision to make on that line to make that call, right? And there was. All right, we're almost done. We won't have the quiz. All right, so attacking right quadrant. You see how the referee has to move here? Because the AR, right, is mostly going to be concerned about offside. We can't expect ARs to be making these calls. It's just not fair. Oh, sweet. That's a good clip. Right, so he's working his way over, right, to cover that quadrant.
Okay,
Yeah,
one thing I know, well, with the whole movement of not being wide as much and being in that ahead of play in that zone, I have found myself in a few instances, I'm sure others have, being in the line of some shots that's put me in some awkward situations. You know, a good 25, 30-yard shot stuff when I'm in that middle. It's just something that I've faced. I've seen a little more of that as I de-emphasize being wide and being more in that position. It's just an observation.
Yeah, but I'd be curious to see some of the clips where you find yourself caught like that, to try to read what happened and why that was. So the attacking left quadrant, we don't want the referees getting out here unless there's an absolute, 1% reason that they need to get here. We expect them to stay inside, right? So we see the referee here start to go revert to bad habits, his old habits, and now he's adjusting and he cuts back inside. Okay, I'm not gonna. He does a really good job recovering and covering the play there. All right, so the last piece here
That's just to get the angle and for the next stage play, right? That's why we stay on the attack.
I'm sorry.
Get a good angle of what would happen in the corner.
He doesn't need to go into the corner. Right, so you can see here how he worked his way back in, right? Because there was nothing happening out. When he started running out here, there's nothing happening, right? And he works his way back in because this is where he needs to be. This is the whole air activity. He's got his shoulders parallel to the goal line and he's seeing everything.
So one of the biggest challenges that I face is when there's a challenge inside the penalty area. They're going, the ball is going really fast. It's close to going out of bounds, but you've got the defender and you've got the attacker right there. And here you are, you don't want to cut your angle off, and yet you want to be down there because something's going to happen. And how close do you want to be when you've got that fast ball going to the end line? The two players are gunning it to the end line. You know what I'm referring to?
I think so. And if they're going to the goal line, and there's going to be a challenge, not an imminent cross.
Right.
And I want to be close.
Right.
Because when the dust is settled, I want to be able to be there. I'm probably not going to be there when the dust starts. If the collision starts, but we got to be there at the end to prevent the shenanigans and figure out what just happened. Yeah, it's difficult. And the physical demands on this game have changed so much. The fitness requirements are so much higher now.
And so I'm just basically saying, obviously you don't want to go wide, but the challenge of it is getting the right angle.
Yeah.
And how do you get that angle when you're trailing and you're trying
you
know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, as soon as you see that, you got to get your angle first. Get your angle first and then close the distance. Okay. All right. So corner kick, starting positions on set pieces are not set in stone, right? You got to replay where's the area of activity of the drop zone, right? You got to get here. I'll go back once for you guys. You got to get the right viewing angle. Got it? Okay. All right. So the corner kick on the referee side, right? We take this position, right? But if we see everybody's piled up back here, what's wrong with taking this position? Nothing, right?
And you see if everybody's wearing.
On the AR side.
You what?
You'll hang out over on the AR side.
I didn't see your reference to when.
You just didn't see your point.
Oh, if the corner kick is on the here, right? But everybody's piled up back here, this is the drop zone. What's wrong with taking this as your starting position? And if you you know, the other thing you have to read is it going to be a near post or back post play on the ball? What happens with a near post ball? It's driven. It's really quick, right? So we want you to start on the near post. If it's a back post ball, it's going to be floated. You have time while the ball's in the air to adjust. You'll be able to do this sometime? See how he's moving laterally, getting that angle? It's like, oh no, something's gonna happen, right? And is he closing distance first or getting angle of view first? Like, he's gotta see what happened, right? And now he gets in there. Right? Too late. And he's able to solve the puzzle. All right.
Is that always the best way, is angle before distance?
Yeah. Yes. As a rule of thumb, I'm not gonna say everything's absolute in the game of football, but as a rule of thumb, angle over distance. It's hard to go wrong.
These slow motion ones are great.
I know.
Set that ball.
Woo. Over 48.
I don't know why this is doing this.
That trick play, it was handling with.
There we go. Okay. So we see how he's adjusting with the ball in the air. He's not static. Oh, anyway. All right, corner kicks AR side. This generally the starting position. Again, you have to read the play, right? If everybody's bunched up back here, right, and it's going to be a floated ball in, why would you take this position? Okay? And when you take this position, be careful. I've seen so many referees running here during play and almost get an assist. Right? It's just like when you start here, how do you control this area? It's just, instead of being, right-handed, you're now left-handed. Something like that. Right? You're doing it backwards. So here the referee's going to start at the near post. Oh my gosh. Right, so you can see here the referee starting at the near post, and there's a play, and he's got a good angle of view. Okay, to see what's going on, and he's adjusting. Right, so he can tell that there's not a foul, and then he's made a judgment. The important thing is when you take a position, have a reason for taking that position. Just don't do it because that's the way you've always done it, right? All right, so free kick over here, right? The mixed master's over here. So we expect you to be taking the position here. Maybe, you need to manage the wall, so your starting position is here, and as the ball's played, you are moving with the play of the ball, and you move into this position, right? Because that way you can watch for handling, encroachment, whatever. Okay? But, if you have comms and mics, maybe this AR can help manage the wall. If there's no sense, don't ever take this position anymore. I still see referees doing this. Okay? Don't do that. Don't do this. These are all bad. Okay? This is where the game's happening, be part of the game. Here, the referee's not gonna be any rush, just like the video. Okay, but once the ball's in the air, he's moving, right? And his body is, positioned square to the goal. They take complete control of the situation. You know, again, we see referees, for some reason, I think they do it they restart play before they're ready to play. Get in position. He doesn't need to be there. He's got the trail helping. And this is where the area of activity is going to be. Right? Makes total sense, yeah? All right, on the other side. Again, don't need to be here, don't need to be here. Be where the area of activity is. Maybe you need to be here, again, to see that the ball clears the wall, but as soon as this player is making his approach to the ball, you're running so that when the ball clears the wall, you're passing the wall. Guys, we're at the end. See how he took control of the situation. He's not restarting play until he's ready. And he had a view of anything that might have happened there in the penalty area. Make sure the player gets back 10 yards, communicating with that didn't leave. We hate it when the referees have to come back and reset or get the player back. Okay? So he managed to straight off, okay? Communicating, guys backed up, right? And he's ready for the next phase of play into that area of activity. And even back up a little bit, just in case you had to check the ball. Right?
Seemed like he backed up so he can get a run as the ball was in midair properly. So he wasn't static while the ball was in.
That too, yeah. So he's able to see the wall here, and his momentum's already moving. If the ball hits the wall, it's not on the brakes easy. But if, most likely the ball's going to go through, so he's got to be moving in, right? Okay. All about finding an angle, proximity, solid decision. Be proactive, be an active participant in the game. Body positioning, right? The optimal viewing distance is about 8 to 9 yards, according to sports scientists, right? Questions? Ooh, I'll go like that. I have crammed in almost a day and a half worth of material here. You guys have been big sports. I'm sorry we had to truncate it. And I'm sorry we missed out on the field drills, some things beyond our control. But thank you guys for being such champs and grinding out 4 hours. I'm so impressed. Now, after you digest all this information, the most important thing you can do to help Scotty and Scott and Charles Scott.
Guess so.
Scott to be on SRC.
Guess so.
Push this information forward. Share this. If you keep it with yourself, it's doing no good. We have to train the other referees. It's really, really important. Now, obviously, you're going to want to modify it to the level of the referee you're talking to, right? But please push this forward, okay? All right, thank you all. Have a good night. Enjoy the night.
You are currently the only person in this conference.